Okay. 6 p.m. I'd like to call this meeting to order, June 16th, 2022. You'll all stand, please, for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Yeah, no, we're going to do that. We'll do that.
Oh,
Thank you. I'm sorry. Adequate notice of this meeting has been advertised in the Asbury Park Press and the Beacon on January 20th, 2022, and by posting a notice at the Forked River Post Office and the local Harbor Post Office, and by filing a copy of the notice with the Lacey Township Clerk as required by the Open Public Meeting Act. Roll call, please.
Mr. Amato?
Present.
Mrs. Claus?
Here.
Mr. Peters?
Present.
Mrs. McAvoy?
Present.
Mrs. Downing?
Present.
Mr. Scanlon?
Here.
Mr. Polino?
Present.
Okay, for executive session, whereas the New Jersey Open Public Meetings Act, NJSA 10:4, is designed to ensure that decision-making government bodies in the state conduct their business in public, except in specific circumstances where exclusion of the public is needed in court in order to protect the privacy of individuals, the safety of the public, or the effectiveness of government in such areas as negotiations or investigations. And whereas in such circumstances, a closed or executive session may be held without public notice or during the course of a public meeting, provided that the subject matter of the executive session is covered by the law. Therefore, be it resolved that an executive session be convened for the purpose of discussing confidential student matters, including but not limited to HIB, confidential legal matters, including but not limited to the current caseload, confidential personal matters, including but not limited to annual evaluation of the superintendent of schools and collective bargaining. The subject matter of these discussions will be disclosed to the public when the reason for confidentiality subsides. The length of the executive session is estimated to be approximately 90 minutes. The board shall convene and proceed with business at 7:30 p.m. Action may be taken. Motion?
Move.
Second?
Second, Peters.
Seconded.
All right, we will go into closed session at 6:03.
Good evening, folks. We're going to continue our meeting. However, I'd like to, something out of order. We're going to stand and have a pledge of allegiance to the flag, if I may, please. And then afterwards, we're going to have a moment of silence. Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We could just ask everybody to remain standing for a moment of silence to the students and teachers of Uvalde and also the other people who lost their lives in the recent tragic shootings across our nation. Thank you. Okay, good evening. We're going to start and continue on here with the report of the superintendent. Are you ready, Dr. Perrone?
Yes, I am. Thank you, Board President Polino. Welcome to the June board meeting. Wow, what a way to end. So we have quite a few presentations tonight, so I'm just going to ask for everybody's patience. With only 2 more days left of school and some big heat coming in tomorrow, 8th grade promotion should prove to be very interesting tomorrow night. So just a couple of reminders. Tomorrow night is our 8th grade promotion, where we're going to celebrate approximately 323 8th graders and watch them go off to high school. And then on Monday, June 20th, we will celebrate our 320 seniors at the 41st annual Lacey Township High School graduation. So this is always a good meeting where we reflect back on some of our great accomplishments. There are many, and I certainly can't list them all. But one of the things that just recently happened is on May 26, 29 of our seniors earned their associate's degree and will, having completed the Ocean County College Academy even before they earned their high school diploma. So a round of applause to all of them. Just last week, we had our awards and scholarship night, and we awarded over $250,000 to the class of 2022, and that does not even include the scholarships that were awarded from the various colleges and universities. So we're still working on coming up with that number but $250,000, and that is through the collaborative work of our entire school community. They all deserve a round of applause as well. We had an amazing fall and spring drama performance, and so our visual and performing arts had a stellar year. Athletics and our co-curriculars also had a stellar year, and that is what is all going on out there. We're going to be celebrating them in a few moments. We also have a room full of Ocean County Math League award recipients. So those students are in the audience. Can you all stand so we can see where you are? Where are you? So here's what we're going to do. Is Mrs. Costa in the audience? There she is. Thank you. And of course, with a big trophy. So Mrs. Costa, we have certificates for our students, and Mr. Polino and I are going to help you with that. So we're going to start with your presentation because I know that even though it's Thursday night, our students probably have homework that they have to get home to. So.
Nothing like a trophy.
Nice big one.
Nice one, right? Good evening, Dr. Pereira and members of the Board of Education. My name is Meryl Costa. I am the 4th grade coach at Lenoka Harbor School for the Ocean County Math League. This past April and May, students from 4th through 8th grade all over Ocean County, including our schools here in Lacey, participated in the Ocean County Math League contest. This is a challenging contest that consists of higher order thinking and multiple step problems that students must accurately solve to earn points. Upon completion of the test, each school calculates their top 5 highest scores and forwards this team score to the Ocean County Math League Committee to determine the county winners. Overall, there are 4 top team winners and 5 individual county winners for each grade level. I am so proud to announce that Lacey Township School District continues its long-standing tradition and has again placed several winning teams in this event. On June 1st, the top 5 students on each of our winning teams, as well as our individual county winners, received trophies and medals at the Ocean County Math League Award Ceremony in Stafford. Tonight, I have the privilege of presenting to you our winning teams. My team from Lenoka Harbor School placed 4th place in the 4th grade division, and I'd like to introduce to you Sophia Pastori. Come on down. Jackson Sager, Sergio Velasquez, Logan Smith, Blake Pisano. And if you guys can stay. Actually, that's Forked River School up there. So okay, Sergio and Jackson are not here. Okay. Blake is here and Logan is here. Yes.
Okay. I don't have the name.
And you're going to stay because we have another announcement to make after. Okay. All right. Placing 3rd in the 4th grade division, Forked River School Elementary School. Their coach was Brenda Kamaligan. Camilla Mitzdella. I don't know who's here today. So Ryder Scholes. Gabriella Toner, Braden Morrissey, and Nathan Allen. In addition to winning the 3rd and 4th place team events out of 4, by the way, we also placed 2 of these students in the top 5 for the county. Camilla Mitzella placed 4th place, and Sophia Pastor placed 3rd. Next, in the 6th grade division, our Mill Pond Elementary placed 3rd place with coaches Stracy Streno and Dawn Seaman. Kobe Montenegro. Beatrice Perry. Anna Summer. Joseph Bloss. And Brody Sloda. Again, we have a 6th grader who also placed in the top 5 for the county, Kobe Montenegro, in 4th place. Next, in the 7th grade division, middle school, 3rd place team, Coach Allison Brannick, Joey Schinder, Jeffrey McCurdy, Jordan Reed, Ella Barnes, and Derek Roth. I knew that was you. It's good to see you, Ella. And again, another county winner in the 7th grade division. 4th place went to Joey Schinder. And finally, our 8th grade team placed 1st place for Lacey Middle School with Coach Allison Brannick as well, Michael Austin, Braden Gialinella, Ryan Medensky, Olivia Miller, and Christian Jelani. And our 8th grade division really wiped it up this year with 2 winners in the top 5 for the county. 3rd place, Braden Gianella. And 1st place, Michael Austin. I would like to congratulate both the students and their awesome coaches on a job well done. I know I've said this before, but I'll say it again. These great achievements do not just happen by chance. It does indeed take a village. These awesome students that you see before you not only have the encouragement of their parents, but each and every one of them has been taught, mentored, and supported by an amazing group of talented and dedicated teachers who have made a difference in the lives of these students and who are here to share in their success tonight. With that being said, I hope you can imagine just how heartbroken I am to learn that not only the math club, but other extracurricular activities on the elementary level have been cut next year. I can only hope that this was an oversight, as these students before you are an example of the kind of students that thrive with this kind of extracurricular activity. Thank you. Congratulations.
All right, Mrs. Costa, thank you so much for announcing and for leading those endeavors because you've been working at it for a very long time. So one more round of applause for our students. And I do want to clarify something, Mrs. Costa, and you made a comment that our clubs and co-curriculars are cut from the budget, and I'm not sure where that came from, but that is not true. And I'm happy to say that the Ocean County Mathlete Club will return along with many, many other clubs. So. In fact, I had a feeling that was going to come up, and I had heard, and I have the list of all the clubs that are returning. So again, not sure where that came from, but that there's no truth to that whatsoever. And if anybody would like to know a full list of all of our clubs and co-curriculars that are coming back next year, just send me an email and I'll be happy to share. So round of applause again to our Ocean County Mathlete recipients. Okay, so as you can hear, we have a lot of students out in the hallway that are also waiting to be recognized. And at this time, I am going to ask our athletic director, Ms. Amy Delvento Evans, to join us at the podium to introduce our next group of recognition.
You handsome devil again.
I haven't opened it, so it's yours.
Good evening, everybody. I'd like to thank everybody for your patience for over the 200 athletes outside that we have separated in separate hallways to try to calm it down. Congratulations to everybody that just received their math award. All right, we're very proud of you, and we can't wait to have you up at the high school. Tonight, we have over 6 teams that are going to be awarded and thanked and congratulated for becoming B-South champ. We have multiple state champs and coaches of the year. As you know, athletics is viewed by many as a front porch and the community of everything. I'm very proud of these kids that work day in and day out to achieve what they achieve. There's multiple teachers and parents. You probably look up here, and teachers, you might have had them in first grade, second grade. You are a part of why they are up here today. Parents, you are a part of why they're up here today. And I thank you. Because of you is why we are here today. First, we have wrestling. Okay, this is Coach Bonatatis. This is the wrestling team. They won their division back-to-back for the first time since 1985 and 1986. Yes, kids, that's a very, very long time ago. They were 23-5 record season, which sets a new school record for dual wins in a single season. They were undefeated, 7-0 in their division back-to-back years. They set a new school record with 9 wrestlers in district finals. They set a new school record with qualifying 10 wrestlers to go to the region tournament. Coach Bonatatis was the District 25 Coach of the Year, and he was also the Coach of the Year for B-South. So with that, I'd like to welcome him and congratulate you guys also.
Thank you, Coach Delvento, for the acknowledgement, and thank you, everybody, for being here. Despite all the obstacles in the way of our wrestling program achieving success, these student athletes found a way yet again to bring another title to the town of Lacey. This season, our team produced an overall record of 23-5, breaking the school record of dual meet wins in a single season that was previously set at 21. We went 16-3 in short conference competition and an undefeated 7-0 in a division for back-to-back years. Our team also set 3 other new records this season, including the highest number of district finalists with 9. The District 25 tournament took place in our home gym, which was a pretty awesome thing for the seniors and our entire team. We also had the highest number of region qualifiers with 10, and winning back-to-back divisional titles, like Coach Del Vento previously said, for the first time since 1985 and 1986. This season, we have dual meet wins over Hanover Park, who went on to win a sectional title. We have a dual meet win over Raritan, who went on to win not only a sectional title, but also a group championship as well. Our wrestling team has reached the state sectional final for the 4th consecutive season, with there being no state tournament during the Corona year. We also finished ranked top 10 in the Shore in back-to-back years as well. I'm extremely proud of these young men and women for their resilience, commitment, passion, and overall belief in achieving the personal growth that we preach inside the walls of the wrestling room. Every year, we continue to grow in the number of student athletes that are a part of our wrestling family. This season, we hit a record-breaking number and upwards to 50 wrestlers on our high school team. We stand tall and proud for all the accomplishments in this season. Thank you very much.
Congratulations, guys. And girls.
Thanks for coming.
Nice job. Good job, guys.
Charlie Ryder. Yep.
Follow him. Follow him.
For some of you that have been a part of the community, you know that Coach Ryder needs no introduction. Okay. He makes, He's had a great impact on these girls. He is our tennis coach for girls and for boys. And with that being said, he has won the conference yet again. So Coach Ryder needs no introduction, but come on up.
Okay, thank you very, very much. We're missing a couple of girls tonight. I'm sure that they're home studying. But anyway, I had to write my speech down because I didn't want to forget anybody. First, I'd like to thank the Board of Education for recognizing the hard work and dedication of the athletes that made them the champions in their respective sports. Congratulations to all of the athletes here tonight and their coaches for outstanding seasons. Standing before you are members of the girls tennis team, B-South champions with a record of 13-3. I'll introduce a couple of the players here. Okay, playing first singles for Lacey was Alexis Frazee. Lex, raise your hand so I see you. There you go. At second singles was Sarah Kuzan. Our third singles player, Madeline Zek, could not make it tonight. Morgan McKinley, who also couldn't make it tonight. And her partner, Ashley Springer, played at first doubles. And Marissa Castillo and her partner, Madison English, who also couldn't make it tonight. And then we had two alternates. We had Genevieve Biggs and Lily Hodgson. Thank you. The JV finished with a record of 6-1, setting up another possible championship next year to continue our championship seasons of 2021, 2019, 2017, 2016, 2011, and 2010. I'd like to thank the parents and the friends of theirs for support throughout the season, to Coach DeJean for guiding our JVs to the success that they had, and to Shore Life Designs for donating our varsity championship sweatshirts. All right, we thank you very, very much for all your support. To the board for your recognition of all the athletes this evening, and congratulations, girls.
Follow him.
Coach?
Hey, Coach, how are you? Hi, thank you.
Next, I would like to introduce Coach Versillo and the football team.
Guys, gotta slide down.
Keep coming in, guys. Keep coming in. File in the front.
Squish in, squish in.
Now everybody knows why it was so loud outside. So. Again, over 200 athletes here tonight, which is not a bad problem to have. The football team, despite being constantly moved up in conferences, has won championships back to back. Coach has also achieved his 300th win, which was recognized by the New Jersey Jets coach on the news this year, if any of you saw, which was pretty awesome. He actually wore one of the shirts that he sent him, and he said, you know what, if this brings me good luck, then hopefully I'll win a game this week. And ironically, the Jets won. No offense to anybody that's a Jets fan in here. Okay, yeah. So, all right. So with that being said, I'd like to introduce Coach Versillo.
No offense, but I'm going to correct you. These people were very quiet. They were down the hall. It was the rest of the group. Don't worry, I'll take care of you. Listen, to the Board of Education, Superintendent, Athletic Director, and Principal, I'd like to thank you for all the support you've given us over the years and continue to give us. This is about 1/3 of our group. We have about 100 some odd total athletes that start the season, maybe 90 that finish the season. We've won 3 championships in a row, and it has not been easy because we are in a tougher schedule, as Coach Del Vento has pointed out. I think that there's something to be said about these young men, that they work extremely hard all year round, playing other sports, as well as they are prodded to get into that weight room and encouraged, let's say, to get into that weight room and work. That's a daily process that takes place in the off season and all summer. So you'll find that in July, when people are enjoying themselves, these young men will not only work and swim and enjoy themselves, but they will actually have a workout daily. And then in August, we will start officially. We start out this year by playing the #1 team in the Shore, which is a tough task, but that's okay. We will take on the challenge. And as you will see, most of them listened and wore their little paw on the shirt that they have that we issued to them. Instead of getting a shirt with championship displayed across the front, we decided just to make a little paw as our mark. I thank you for listening to me right now, and I appreciate everything that's been done by Ms. Del Vento. And I want to applaud all the young children here in this district and all the athletes that have done so well. We have a great tradition here. Thank you again.
Girls. Trust me, Reed and they're knocking that.
That's it. I'm not going to say it again.
Thanks for coming out.
Let me just see you.
Girls soccer.
How many more times are you coming in?
Girls. Dodaro knows. And system. They know. I get so excited. All right, so this is a little bit of an extra special group, and I will tell you why. These ladies in front of you have achieved being state champs. They were back-to-back conference championships, but there is like no other feeling being a state champ in high school and also being a state champ in a bracket where you are an underdog and you are not predicted to win. These girls are very passionate, they're very dedicated, and they did whatever it took to win. And if you saw some of them on the field, especially today in Powder Puff, you would realize that they have no problem running over people. So with their grit, with their dedication, you guys, I'm so proud of you. State champs is something like no other. I know you know what it feels like to be a conference champ. I know you know what it feels like to be a back-to-back conference champ. And I know you know what it feels like to be a conference champ in multiple sports. But a state champ is like no other. So be proud. And I see you guys excel on the field, and I see you excel in the classroom too. And that is something that's going to take you very far in life. So without further ado, Coach Mahar had a family emergency. But next in line is Coach Brewster. And if you know, everybody loves him. So welcome up.
How you guys doing? I'm the assistant women's soccer coach, Bob Brewster. As we already told you, Jack Mahar had an emergency, so he put together something for me just to read on his behalf. First, he would like to thank his very handsome, albeit short, assistant coach for coming today. Just his words. But seriously, on behalf of Coach Mahar, on behalf of Coach Lagenhoff, on behalf of these young ladies here, myself, I'd like to thank some very important people here tonight before we talk about the girls. I'd like to thank the Board of Education for all their continued support. They were at a bunch of the games, which meant the world to these girls. Our administration, our athletic director, and of course our families who did all the very tough work of getting them to and from practice very early in the morning. We couldn't have done it without you. So big round of applause for those people. From the beginning of the summer of 2021, we knew this group of soccer players was going to be something special, and oh boy, were we right. Finishing 15-7-2, these young ladies were back-to-back B-South champions, quarterfinalists in the Shore Conference tournament, and South Jersey Group 3 state champions, all of which could not have been possible without our senior leadership. Rosie O'Cardenas, Abby Stevens, Ada Lito, Susanna Mistella, Maddie Bell, Katie Patterson, on top of a very magnificent group of young student athletes who have raised the bar and set the foundation of leadership, hard work, and of course, academics in our program that will hopefully allow us to three-peat as B-South champions and attend to some unfinished business in the state tournament next year. Thank you again, and go Lions.
Good job.
Nice job, ladies. Nice job.
Come on, baby D, no pressure. Come on. Come on down. I'm your coach. I'm filling in tonight. You guys can move down so people can see you. Don't be nervous. Nobody bites here. Okay. Coach Mahar also is the head coach of the girls bowling. I'd like to congratulate them. You guys are looking very nice in your new gear. I see you got it handed out tonight by Mr. Brewster. Girls bowling has really grown in our district. If you'll see, it is a mixed group of girls from multiple different sports, and they work very hard and they're very passionate at it. I've gone to a few bowling matches, and I never realized that the fun that you guys have there. All right, between the cheese fries and everything and the snacks. I think maybe I wouldn't have played basketball my whole life if I knew how much fun it was. But these girls are very dedicated. They travel all the way up to Brick every single day for their practices. And it is not an easy task to attain besides having Coach Mahar. That is very, very nice and awesome. So congratulations on your championship. It is very well deserved. You guys work very hard, and you guys have a very hard conference for bowling. So congratulations, and we're proud of you. Right? Thank you, girls. Is there any senior that wants to step up to say anything? No, right? We're good? No? No? You're good? You don't have to. Susanna, I know she does not want to. Do you want to? You sure? You don't have to. You don't have to. It's up to you. No pressure, right? No pressure. No pressure like unknown pressure. Well, thank you, girls. I appreciate it. Congratulations.
Thank you, ladies.
Next, Coach.
Soccer, boys soccer.
Boys soccer.
Last but not least. And this is your boys soccer team for the last of the accolades tonight. Boys soccer won their conference and went undefeated in conference play, which has not been done by another team since 2014. I'm not going to say who that last coach was. Can you tell I still miss coaching? I just want to coach. So with that being said, they will be awarded the Silver Paw. It's a little thing from Boosters that states that they went undefeated in conference, which is very, very hard. So congratulations, boys. I know you worked hard for that. Something else that not many people have processed this year, because we have a very humble and passionate coach, is Coach Toye was recognized as Coach of the Year for 4 different accolades. He was Coach of the Year for B-South. He was Coach of the Year for Ocean County. He was Coach of the Year for the Shore Conference, and he was Coach of the Year for New Jersey. In the history of Lacey, no coach has ever achieved that. So congratulations, Coach Toye. He's still managing. With that being said, I'd like to welcome Coach Toye up to the microphone.
Good evening, everyone. I want to just start off by giving a quick thank you to Ms. Del Vento and Mr. Brandis for entrusting me with the men's soccer program here and giving me this opportunity again. Our soccer team had a fantastic year this year. We were 15-2-1. We had an undefeated B-South championship, an undefeated regular season schedule, and we were one of the final 7 teams in New Jersey without a loss. Our only 2 losses this year came during postseason play in both the Shore Conference tournament and the state tournament. We finished the season ranked number 8 in the Shore Conference and number 24 in the state of New Jersey out of all public teams. In addition to our team accolades, we had many, many individual accolades, including 6 players named to the All-Division team, 5 players named to the All-County team, and 3 players who received All-State honors. Our senior captain, Cody Besser, was named B-South Player of the Year, Ocean County Player of the Year, and First Team All-State. You can wave, Cody. I do want to take a second to just mention our 8 graduating seniors who were a tremendous part of our success the past 4 years. We won 47 games in the past 4 years, which is a tremendous amount of wins, and they will be very, very missed. Those young men are Cody Besser, Connor Bensick, Brian Cardoza, Jack Costa, Dom Iorio, Lucas Holmberg, Dylan Rapparelli, and Dominic Vecchio. And lastly, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention my 2 assistant coaches, Mike Pierce and Rob Cashin. Without them, our program wouldn't be where it is. They do so much for me, so much for the boys, and we thank you for having us tonight, and we look forward to hopefully, replicating this success in a few short months. So thank you.
Congratulations, boys. Good job. Let Bree know your light's on. Hey, how are you? Before I step down tonight, I'd just like to thank Dr. Pereira, Mr. Zelinski, the Board of Education for your continued support. Athletics really appreciates it. We appreciate your patience in the sense that as you see multiple athletes, if we had it on any other night, they wouldn't have been able to attend because they are multi-sport athletes. So thank you so much for everything. Thank you for your support. It means a lot and we really appreciate it. Thank you for
Great
everything.
job, Erin.
Thanks, everybody.
All right. Thank you, Mrs. Del Vento. Appreciate it. So that was no small feat putting that together, and I thank Mrs. Del Vento Evans, our athletic director, for gathering all of our students. But I don't think that we recognize our coaches quite enough because they work so closely with our students before school, after school, on the weekends, and we thank them for the partnership that they have with our athletic director, with our teams, with our students, and our families. So another round of applause to all of our coaches. We're all going to be tired of clapping by the time tonight's over.
thing.
It is a good
It's a
thing.
good thing.
It is, yeah. All right. For the last time this school year, we are going to talk a little bit about our staff members of the month. And what timing, Mr. Merman? Mr. Merman joins us tonight because he didn't have an opportunity to join us last month because he was working. So we have a plaque for you along with two other staff members. So Mr. Polino, how about you and I?
Was he working or was he fishing?
Fishing club. Mr. Merman wants nothing more than to sit down. I know that I speak on behalf of the Board of Education and everybody in this room and beyond that there is no other person that has helped us more with technology and the filming of our events, setting up our Zoom for board meetings and everything in between. Jeremy never says no to any task that I ever give him. And we could not do the things that we do technologically if not for you. So I'm so glad that you're here so that we can applaud you for all that you do for not only the board, but the teachers and the students. So thank you so much. Round of applause to you, Mr. All right, and two more staff members of the month. Our first is Kelly Brown, who is one of our counselors and our SAC at Mill Pond. She was nominated by fellow teacher Kirsten Nachman. And while Kirsten has a lot to say about Kelly Brown, I'm just going to read a couple of things. Namely that Kelly is an integral part of the Mill Pond staff. She shows incredible leadership, integrity, dedication, and motivation to all students and staff at Mill Pond. Mrs. Brown is she leads the Big Brothers Big Sisters program, peer mediation, which helps our students resolve conflicts. And she is also a big part of Proud Paws. Is Mrs. Brown here with us tonight?
She is.
And then the other thing that Mrs. Nachman wrote about Mrs. Brown is that she has the students' best interests at heart and has a way of getting through to certainly the mantra of enthusiasm and motivation. And so I concur and the district committee concurred and well-deserving, Mrs. Brown. I'm going to ask that you hang out here for 1 second because we have a video to show. So round of applause to Mrs. Brown. And our second staff member of the month for June is Mrs. Badija, who is a teacher at the middle school. She was nominated by a lot of people. Namely Samantha Cole, Nancy Loveland, Kelly Marchitello, Jennifer Fiducia, and Marissa Speck. And what they had to say about Mrs. Badija is that she stepped into the role of special education teacher from her BSI position to cover another teacher for the remainder of the year. And in that role, she has shown enthusiasm like no other when accepting this challenge. Karen's expertise and background has given her an advantage in coming up with daily out-of-the-box life skill activities. She is a strong leader, yet is always willing to listen to classroom suggestions and utilize her powers to the fullest potential. Karen makes it her mission to encourage others to press on, even resorting to dancing in the hallways. Many people can have good days, but Karen's personality is to make every day better than before. Is Mrs. Budija here with us tonight?
All right, once again, we're here to celebrate our staff member of the month. We're going to surprise Karen Petija in her room. Come on, let's go. Good morning, everybody. I'd like to have everyone's attention, please.
Okay, Mr. King.
Thank you. Every month, the district selects a staff member of the month, someone who goes above and beyond, who does a great job for the students and staff and helps everybody out. This month's winner, this month's staff member of the month, is Mrs. Budija.
Thank you, sir.
Nice job.
Are you the fall pastor? Thank you so much. Oh my gosh, that's such a surprise.
You deserve it. You deserve it. Very, very happy with everything you've done.
We nominated Karen Badia for Staff Member of the Month because she is super friendly, amazing, and one of the most helpful people in our school.
I have had the pleasure of working with Karen Badia the last few months. She has filled in for Tammy Mai as Tammy Mai had a knee replacement, and she has been an absolute asset, and she's just a spectacular teacher, and she's wonderful with the special needs population.
And we just love Karen for so many reasons. She never says no. She's always offering to help. She really stepped up into this role working with Miss Mai's class, and she's just super bubbly, super funny, super friendly, and just really positive, contagious energy.
Congratulations, Karen.
Everyone, I'm Mrs. Nemec. I'm the principal here at Mill Pond. We have a very big surprise. We're going to jump into Mrs. Savage's class where Mrs. Brown is, and she has been selected as Staff Member of the Month. So let's go surprise her. Hi, how are you? Hi. Well, we have a really big surprise today, and does anybody know what that surprise is? Oh, Lorelai? Miss Brown is staff member. Miss Brown is Staff Member of the Month.
So this was a ruse.
It was. Everyone was in on it. We're so proud. We're so happy.
Thank you so much. That was so, I can't think of better people to spend this time with.
Yeah. Congratulations.
Thank you. And
Congratulations.
Mr. Merman, you know I love you.
One big round of applause.
Oh, that was so nice.
You're welcome.
Miss Brown is the epitome of kind, caring, and helpful. She works with all of the students and staff at Mill Pond and takes care of all of us. I can think of nobody better to have the nomination of Staff Member of the Month than Mrs. Kelly Brown. Congratulations, Kelly.
All right, in September, we will start again. And for the last time this school year, Mr. Leiter, we have our last Lacey Minute of school year. Mr. Merman, I think we have to change that next year to the Lacey 3-minute. And that's a good thing. So thank you, Mr. Merman, and for everybody who submitted footage, because he couldn't do that without the footage. So thank you to all of our teachers and staff. All right, moving on.
Oh, I could do it. Everybody hear me? I don't need to go up there, right? Good, thank you. Mrs. McAvoy, can you join us here, please? So, for those that don't know, Mrs. McAvoy was recently recognized for the New Jersey School Board Association. She gained her Certified Board Leader certification through the New Jersey School Boards. It certainly is an undertaking with all the amount of classes in person and online. It's a feat that not many board members take on and complete. So we wanted to take a moment to recognize her achievement tonight as a certified board leader. So this is Dear Don, this from New Jersey School Boards. Congratulations. You have satisfied all the requirements for certified board leader certification through the New Jersey School Board Member Academy. Those requirements include earning a minimum of 60 credits through attendance at Academy sessions, New Jersey School Board annual workshop, and a variety of county programs. In addition, you successfully passed the Certified Board Leader exam. The Certified Board Leader Award recognizes professional development areas critical to effective school board governance. We commend you for your commitment to the school district and for your dedicated substantial time and effort to improve your skills and knowledge. Since the inception of the Board Member Academy Certification Awards, New Jersey School Board Association has recognized the honorees of County School Board Association meeting. Needless to say, the current public health emergency has temporarily changed our world. Until then, we have an induction that in-person gatherings are safe again. Your achievement will be recognized, which it was last month. It is our honor to congratulate her on her achievement and thank her for her dedication and commitment to the students of your community and our community of Lacey Township. On behalf of the school board and the community, we thank you for your dedication and efforts to that. Congratulations.
Okay, congratulations, Mrs. McAvoy. All right, so as you all know, tonight is Mr. DeGeorge's very last board meeting as school business administrator. And I know his lovely wife is here in the audience and she's grinning ear to ear because you get him back. So, Mr. Polino, I believe we have a resolution to present on behalf.
Mr.
Chandler? Oh, you have it.
I do.
I gave it to her.
Again.
Do I have a choice?
We asked him to stay on another 6 months to a year if we could, and he's like, I will never be able to go home. So, Mr. DeGeorge, resolution. Whereas Patrick S. DeGeorge has served the Lacey County School District as business administrator and board secretary since November 16, 2015, dedicating almost 7 years of service to this district. And whereas Patrick S. DeGeorge has always displayed dignity and respect for the position to which he held at Lacey Township School District, and whereas during his service to the Lacey Township School District, Patrick served as an active contributing member of numerous committees of the district. Whereas Patrick S. DeGeorge was steadfast in making decisions on behalf of the students and staff of the Lacey Township School District as his first priority. And whereas Patrick DeGeorge distinguished himself as a hardworking and dedicated public servant, providing invaluable leadership and guidance on many significant projects. And whereas Patrick DeGeorge was keenly focused on the future of the Lacey Township School District and was always supportive on taking steps to move the district forward. Whereas his colleagues known him as a loyal, dependable coworker and friend, who took pride in his work and always managed to provide lighthearted humor. whereas Patrick DeGeorge has earned a deep appreciation and respect from the Lacey Township School District community, and we will miss such a strong advocate for the district. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the Lacey Township School Board of Education, Ocean County, New Jersey, that the board does hereby formally acknowledge the countless hours of dedicated service to students and staff of the district and Lacey Township community during his nearly 7 years of service and wisdom bestowed on the district. We wish Pat happy retirement. We can spend more time with his beautiful wife, Patty, and his long dog,
Speech.
Do whatever you like. You know me?
Good evening. Growing up in Jersey City, my family had nothing much to speak of in the way of material wealth. But that turned out to be a good thing because we were taught about a kind of wealth that is far more valuable, a wealth that consists of faith in and service to God, a deep love of family, an appreciation of friends, and to be truly grateful for anything and everything that we were given. I stand before you with a heart full of gratitude. Thank you to the Board of Education, present and past, my fellow administrators, staff members, especially those who had to suffer through me at the board office, students and their families for the opportunity for me being a part of this tremendous school district. I will always be a Lacey Lion, but it is time for me to turn the financial and operational reins of the district over to a younger and brighter generation of business administrator in Ms. Sylvia. And for me to return to where I really belong with my incredible wife, Patty. Folks, I'm telling you, there is no way that I deserve someone like her in my life. I don't know what I did to deserve you, but believe me when I tell you, lady, that I thank God every day that he gave me you. With her mom, 94-year-old Marion, who lives with us, and I do love with my whole heart, and with our beautiful little puppy, Bo, who wants his dad to come home. So with that, I thank you from the bottom of my heart for all that you've allowed me to do. Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Pat. Sharon, good luck to you.
Big shoes to fill.
9.5. You can do it.
All right, Mrs. Nemec, I almost forgot you have a donation to tell us about.
All right. I just want to congratulate all of our students this evening, along with our staff and Mr. DeGeorge and our board members. So thank you for this opportunity. Due to scheduling conflicts, our board members of our Mill Pond PTA are unable to be here this evening. They've asked me to share a few words in their absence. Our Mill Pond PTA is proud to present this check to the Lacey Township Board of Education in the amount of $10,000. On behalf of our organization, we would like to express our gratitude to all of our Mill Pond school families for their continued support. This donation would not be possible without their constant generosity towards our PTA. We would also like to thank the staff and administration of Mill Pond for the support, assistance, and guidance they've provided to us. Last but not least, we would like to thank all of our local businesses who have contributed to our organization in the form of contributions and fundraisers. We look forward to opportunities to enhance and enrich the educational experience at Mill Pond School. Sincerely, our Mill Pond PTA Executive Board, Dana Tritola, who's our president, Jill Vecchio, our treasurer, Dana Tuorto, our vice president, Carissa Solkowski, our other vice president, and Christine Lee, our secretary. So I have a check to hand over to our Board of Education. I know we're really looking forward to that playground equipment. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Nemec. Okay, so as is customary at this time of the year, we've already done a mid-year random drug testing update. Mr. Zielinski, I'm going to ask you to give us a year summary.
So very simply, for those of you who don't know, we operate a random drug testing program at Lacey Township High School, and we operate a volunteer drug testing program at Lacey Township Middle School that parents can opt into with their students at the middle school. We look at it twice a year. We see what our overall positive rate is, and we see where we're going. Are we going up? Are we going down? And then we look to why we're doing one or the other. And then we look at different programs, or we look at similar programs just to see how we're doing. The overall positive rate for 21-22 is 6.8%. That number is found by the number of total positives divided by the number of tests that we give. It's not that 6.8% of our students were found with a substance in their system. It's just that was the rate. Last year's rate was 3.8%. So we're up. So we talked about that with our provider. We've talked about it with our SACs. We do believe that returning to school full-time has allowed us to give parents that gift. And the gift is that they can have early intervention because they were home and we weren't able to monitor them. They weren't in school full-time. So we believe the program is doing very well. It's been around for a long time now, at least 7 to 8 years. We've been operating the program at the high school. We do a lot of hard work there to make sure that our students are safe. So that's the report.
Okay.
On the back of all the good stuff. That's where we are.
Okay. And that item is on our agenda tonight for renewal for next year. In our final presentation of the evening, we've been talking about standards-based report card and our transition toward that. And Mr. Zielinski and Mrs. Kilmurray, who is the supervisor at Lenoka Harbor Elementary School, are going to do a brief presentation, and that will be followed with some follow-up presentations for our parents so that our parents are better able to understand what a standards-based report card is and how to navigate it. So should we?
If you want to, I gave the board paper copies. If you want to like a copy. So first and foremost, so I don't forget, Terry Kilmurray right here, Jess Cellini right there. Joni still here? All right. They're awesome. When we brought this to them, we said, we can talk about sending the report card, and I'm not talking, I feel like I'm talking to the choir because there are a lot of your teachers in the room. But that's good news. But we're really talking to our parents at home for this presentation because you guys are going to see firsthand we start doing professional development in August and September. We start working on standards-based report card. We've been talking about this for a long time. So we've been talking about moving to standards-based report cards. When I brought it to the supervisors, that was their comment. We were talking about it for a long time, and it was time to go to initiate a standards-based report card. Because think about it, when we think about student achievement, when we think about grade level achievement, it's a very personalized approach. When you look at our report card now, it's not so personalized. So moving to standard-based report cards allows us that opportunity, allows us to personalize, differentiate, do all those things that we want to do with our students in order to bring them up to that grade level that they belong on. So we'll do a couple slides here.
Yep.
I'll jump in, you'll jump in.
Sure.
Jess, you can jump in too.
Sure. I tried to get her to come up here.
Oh, she wouldn't
Michelle,
come
no.
All right. Oh, yeah, Michelle, that's right. this is all in the direction of Ms. as well, to push this forward. You're gonna get the timeline stuff, which I think is important. And we're really giving it to our parents, giving them an introduction to it, because there's a lot of work to do. Standard-based report card implementation takes time. So we're gonna need time to adjust. We're gonna need time to put everything together. We need time to train our parents, train our teachers to a certain extent, to make sure that this works for us and works for our students and works for their achievement. So that's going to be a lot of prongs to this as we move forward in this process. So there's a lot of work to be done. We are going to do it K-4 come next year. We're going to talk about a trimester system also, which I hope all the K-4 teachers know in the room. But we'll be talking about that as well as we go on. So the floor is yours. And
All right. So the purpose of this presentation is to provide just a brief introduction and overview to standards-based grading and standards-based report cards. You may not be aware, but one of the goals included in the district's strategic plan is to enhance student learning and learning success of our students. And one of the objectives in achieving that goal is to refine our current report card so that it better reflects our student abilities and their skills related to the New Jersey State Learning Standards. Okay. So table of contents, just a quick overview, introduction, the rationale, the implementation timeline, which Mr. Zielinski mentioned, and a closer look at what standards-based grading and report cards are for those of you that are unaware. All right, so standards-based instruction is defined as instruction for student mastery of a defined set of standards. It is an ongoing teaching and learning cycle that ensures all students have opportunities to maximize their learning. Standards-based grading is an intentional way for teachers to track their students' progress and achievements while focusing on helping students learn and reach their highest potential. It's based on students showing signs of mastery or understanding of various lessons and skills. Why should we revise the report card? Other than just being listed in our strategic plan, there are reasons behind that. It improves our student learning. Standards-based instruction and assessment focuses on students' progress with specific skills. The skills are aligned to the New Jersey Student Learning Standards, the NJSLS, in all content areas. Instruction is connected to these standards and it's differentiated based on the student's needs. Students are assessed on their progress towards meeting these standards rather than receiving a single numeric or letter grade. Just like all things new, it's a little scary at first, but we will get you there, I promise. So our implementation timeline, as Mr. Zielinski also mentioned, we've been talking about it for a really long time. I've been on the committee since its inception many, many years ago, and I'm really excited that we've had this opportunity to move forward, and we're moving forward very quickly. A lot of work has gone into this project since January. So back in January, we talked about it. In February and March, we formed our report card committees, and they were phenomenal. These teachers came every other Thursday. They had release time from their classrooms. They came over to Lenoka Harbor School Library, and they worked really, really hard. During that time, they were identifying the key skills and aligning them to our current curriculum. And we're also updating our curriculum maps right now, which was an important part of this. So we were able to identify gaps in areas that we needed to concentrate on. And like I said, our report card committee worked very, very hard on this. Then in April and May, the administration created spreadsheets of the key skills for each of the grade levels. And I should put my readers on. Subject to real-time course masters and revised as needed. So we started meeting with our representatives at real time. We identified those key skills. We created a very, very large and long spreadsheet of these skills and decided which skills we needed to measure at each grade level. We aligned them to our current curriculum and also to the grade levels as necessary. Then in June and to right now, we have been working together as supervisors, creating Mark's Legends. Thank you, yours is bigger than mine. Revisions to the skills and scheduling maintenance to take place. We're revising the rubrics, and we will be hopefully able to review report card samples as soon as real time provides them to us, probably mid-July. So the first week of July, the supervisors together, elementary supervisors, will be finalizing all of this, tweaking this, getting it to real time, and they will be then providing us with the report card samples. We've given them report card samples, our idea of what we want them to look like. They'll be letting us know exactly what they'll be able to look like. Then in September, we will provide the professional development to the staff on standards-based report cards and gradebook. They'll also be using the gradebook at the K-4 level. And then in January, if all goes as planned, our students will receive their first standards-based report card at the end of the first trimester. What is standards-based report card? Different than a traditional report card because there are no specific averages calculated for the overall subject area. And I know that when your students get to 3rd and 4th grade, they start looking forward to that, getting that A or that B or that C. It's a little bit different now. The standards-based report card truly reflects what the student understands. If they fail one math test, that can skew their entire average. And that's not a true representation of what that student knows. So the standards-based report card really breaks it down, standard by standard, skill by skill, for that child. Where are their strengths? Where are the areas that they need to focus on improving? And it really gives the teacher a lot of information. Our teachers differentiate every single day within their classroom, but when the student is only focused on, I have to get that A or I have to get that B, they're not truly owning their learning either. And this will allow them to do so. The teachers are able to identify those students' strengths in those areas for growth. The teachers are more informed. The students are more informed. They understand what they know and what they don't know yet and what they need to work towards. As opposed to the traditional grading system that only provides students with that single numeric grade or that letter grade, the standards-based report card identifies how well a child is mastering each of these individual skills. This is a snapshot of what we provided to real time, what we would like our report card to look like. There are still some tweaks that need to be made, but the performance levels will be a little different. ES would be exceeding the standard. That is when a child demonstrates through thorough understanding of the skills and application beyond what is taught with distinction. Mass meeting the standard, demonstrating general understanding of skills and concepts with little or no teacher support. And AS would be approaching the standard, demonstrates partial understanding of the skills and concepts, but requires moderate teacher support. And NS needs support, demonstrating limited understanding of that specific skills and concepts, requiring considerable teacher support. And NA would be not assessed at this time because certain skills will not be assessed during certain trimesters. So if you see an NA, it just means that that skill was not taught during that trimester. We're also going to include something else called the levels of support, working independently, sometimes needing support, frequently needing support, and requiring one-to-one assistance and modifications. At the bottom of that report card, you'll see the little blue arrow that says benchmarks. Those are just an idea of some of the standards. Levels of support, they'll receive one for each of their subject areas. Reading at grade level is extremely important, that you'll know whether your child is reading at grade level, a little bit below grade level, or above grade level. And then there's a snapshot of the mathematics. This was the largest snapshot I could get without it being like super tiny and you not being able to see it. So one of the math standards there is uses understanding of place value to perform multi-digit arithmetic. So the report card's long. It will be a little lengthy. It's not going to be pages on pages, but the standards and the skills are broken down for each subject area. I'm going to say we were trying to get it to fit on a 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper, but it's going to be a little bit longer than that. All right. Standards-based learning progression. You know, I've seen a lot of visuals for this. I've seen swimming pool and bicycle. To me, I love the bicycle one. And it took a long time to find these images to be able to explain this to you. But when you consider NS, or needing support, this means that the child demonstrates limited understanding of skills and concepts, requiring considerable teacher support, just like those training wheels on a bike. Okay, not ready to take off yet, not ready to get on that two-wheeler. They need as much support as possible to gain that confidence and get where they need to be. Approaching the standard, training wheels are gone, mom or dad's still holding on to the bike. They're starting to gain that confidence. They're starting to grow. They're demonstrating partial understanding of the skills and concepts, requiring moderate teacher support, meeting the standard, exactly where they need to be. Riding a two-wheeler, right on target, on their own, demonstrating general understanding of the skills and concepts with little or no teacher support, and then exceeding the standard. That show off, I could never do a wheelie like that. I would have tipped over. But that child is demonstrating thorough understanding of the skills and applications beyond this, I'm sorry, I can't see again. Beyond what is taught with distinction. So that child is really exceeding the grade level standards. They would probably have be receiving some enrichment from their classroom teacher at that time. All right. Rubrics will be provided to the staff, the teachers, to be able to use to guide them through grading each of their students. These rubrics, I believe, will be available on the website also, so that parents will be able to look them over. But the teachers will utilize these rubrics to evaluate their student progress towards mastering each skill. The teachers will collect data to determine a student's progress and identify areas of strength and those that require further instruction. The rubrics will be standardized for each grade level K to 4 and will be used throughout the district. All right, so this is just a snapshot of a sample rubric that we've created as well. This one is for phonics and word analysis skills. I believe this was on the 4th grade level. But from the 1st to 3rd trimester, this is just to give teachers, when they're looking at or grading the assignments, where does my student fall? Okay, do they need support? Less than 70% of the time they're achieving that standard. Are they approaching the standard 70 to 79% of the time, and so forth. And standards-based instruction and grading requires a teacher to collect data and evidence to determine these levels of mastery for each skill. Therefore, students need additional learning experiences to demonstrate where they are in the curriculum towards, on the continuum.
Trimesters, and that was,
Trimesters.
I came back on that, why? And overwhelmingly, our teachers in our administration said, we need more time to assess, we need more time to when you get the first quarters, it's not enough time to assess the standard.
Especially at the beginning of the year. You know, you're opening up, you're teaching your children to get used to new grades, you're assessing them to find out where they are, and before you know it, those first 45 days are over. So moving to a trimester allows that child more time to truly prove what they know and to develop those skills. And I think I had one more slide. You told me to keep it to 10. So benefits, creates consistency across the district in assessing learning, goals that are aligned with the New Jersey student learning standards, isolate specific strengths and challenges of the students, that allows for more relevant and differentiated instruction, communicates academic progress more clearly with the parents, and it increases consistency among teachers and grade levels. Okay, you're welcome.
Awesome. All right, so an introduction, there's more to come. We'll be doing other presentations, especially for our parents. We'll be doing professional development for our teachers. As we get closer to August and September, to make sure that, because the implementation might be a little rocky. It's something brand new, brand new for Lacey, it's brand new for a lot of our parents. None of us probably experienced that as report cards in our own education. So it might be a little rocky first trimester, but I know with the help of our teachers, and especially our grade administration, we'll be able to get through that and have a good process. It'll work for us in getting our students to achieve.
Right.
So
absolutely.
All right, great question.
I have
Good question, if you don't mind. With our old basic grading policy, the students are graded by numeric numbers, correct?
At the 3rd and 4th, beginning in the 3rd and 4th grade level.
So with that, those numbers, we can diagnose where they are, where our strongest weak points were. With these, how are we going to be able to do that? To diagnose, to do the data to find out where we need to concentrate on. With these changes, with these.
Right.
That's what this is. If you take standards, you can break down the standards, and the teachers will assess them on that specific standard. So when I kind of educated myself, these guys helping me with it, when you talk about the New Jersey State Learning Standards, they break it down and then they grade them on that specific standard, knowing what their weakness or their strength is. I think that's the point that you're trying to make. So New Jersey's #1 in education, public education in the entire country for a reason. Those standards are pretty good, right? Especially when it comes to ELA, math, social studies, and science. So those are the big ones. And then not each standard, but the standards that we've chosen, we'll be assessing them on it because we think they're the most important in order to assess them for grade level performance.
And Mr. Peters, if you're thinking of maybe like the typical math test, okay, and Mrs. Costa, my math professional over there, may back me on this. And one test, you may have addition, you may have subtraction, you may have counting numbers, you may have number identification. And our program that we have right now, Envisions 2.0, for our math breaks down this assessment by standard. So if they got number 1 correct, which was addition, but they got number 2 incorrect, which was subtraction, you're taking a look at that and you're identifying, you know what, this child's doing really well on numbers 1, 6, and 7, which all had to do with addition. But you know what, I've noticed at 3, 7, and 9, they're really struggling with that subtraction standard. So we need to focus that child specifically on the subtraction area. Maybe
Can I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
I thought you were done. I'm sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry. No, that's fine. Same thing with reading. They could be struggling with the comprehension. Are they struggling with the fluency? Are they struggling with going back into the story and locating details to support their answers? And our curriculum and our tests that we have allow us to identify those areas, but this helps us to further break it down and really identify which skills and standards these children are specifically struggling with. Sure.
This is going to be trimester reading, so when they take a test, they're not going to get, 70, 80, 90, or 100. They're going to get an SAS. How is that? This is just for the
So they will get an average on their test, and then based on where they fall on that average will give us an idea whether or not they're approaching that standard or that meeting that standard. You still will have averages in the rubric to guide the teachers and to allow you to understand where specifically that child falls, but those averages will not be on the report card. You don't want the child just focusing on just that average all the time. Because like I said, they fail one test and that skews that whole average. Yes, Mrs. Claus.
Will the parents be able to see the numerical averages, like for the test scores, or like how do they keep track if they're getting an 80?
Well, the test will still go home.
Okay.
As they did, and some of that grading conversation is still to take place with the supervisors, Mrs. Amos and Mr. Zielinski, this summer to decide exactly how we're going to score those tests and go home. And we want to take a closer look at our curriculum maps too as we revise them to make sure that we're aligning the specific assessments and the standards to the trimesters. So that is more to come on that. Okay. Yes.
To me, and maybe I need to have a conversation later or at a later date about this, but to me, it seems like we're taking away this goal-oriented process of a student sitting in the classroom and striving to do something and introducing an environment of it's okay. Don't worry about it. We're going to continue to help you. From what I understand, whether I get an A, B, or C, or D, or an F, or an 80, or 90, or a 60, my teacher should know where I'm doing well and where I need to continue to do better. What I don't understand is why are we eliminating the goal-oriented focus and turning it into, here's where you need more help. Here's where you need more help. Shouldn't we be doing that already?
Standards-based report cards are strictly goal-oriented. Standards-based report cards are exactly about goals. The goal is to master the standard. If you don't master the standard, you can't move on to your grade level peers to the next level. That's exactly what you're describing is exactly what this does.
I don't get that when you're describing it to me.
So part of our process is that we have to work with our parents and work with the board a little bit to show you what we're doing. But that's the process because standards report card is something new. It's something different, but it allows us to establish those goals very specifically for students. So a student who's not reaching his goals in phonics, which is the one I like to use, if they're not reaching their goals in phonemical awareness, I know I'm saying it wrong, right? It comes up because they haven't met that standard. So that teacher has to differentiate small group instruct that student on phonics. And that's the most important thing. And the standards-based report card allows the parents to see where their students are progressing and helps our teachers differentiate and help them progress to those very goals that you mentioned. That's the point.
How many districts are doing this already in Ocean County? Are we one of the last?
We're not one of the last, but we're not the first.
So how many would be good half?
I don't know, but
I'm going to say more than half. Probably.
More than half.
Just from the samples that I've looked at
Okay.
in the surrounding areas especially.
My district's been using it for 5 years now.
We probably started the conversation about 5 years.
Yes.
Yeah.
Here we are, finally here.
I have a question. What are the assessments going to look like for science and social studies across the board? Because they're hands-on and our curriculum is limited for our staff at the elementary level. There is no text except for the FOSS, which is hands-on. So my concern is, we're talking about benchmarks that We don't have it.
Well, you do have the FOSS text for
Right.
your science,
Okay.
100%. The social studies maps are being reworked now during the curriculum mapping revising.
That's all.
And when you are grading your students on their participation and on their hands-on activities in science and social studies, or specifically in science, especially with the FOSS, when I was in the classroom, I was constantly walking around with my little notebook, making my observations, having those conversations with those students, and keeping notes on what they were capable of achieving. What were they mastering? Where did they need to, where were they struggling? What did I need to reassess? And as Mr. Zielinski said, standards-based report cards are truly goal-oriented. We know children come to, I don't know this. No, you don't know that yet, but we're going to get you there. And this is a roadmap for them and for the parents. Your child may do very well in the area of math again, but just in addition and subtraction, but then really struggle with the multi-digit subtraction or addition. They may be able to read, but are they truly comprehending what they read? Can they go back? And you know that from being in the room. So the FOSS and the science and the social studies, like I said, we are reworking that curriculum now, revising those maps, but those anecdotal notes are going to be more important than ever. The observation within the classroom.
Okay, thank you very much. Appreciate it.
It sounds like you're trying to reinvent the wheel, trying to understand why you're doing that, first of all. And it sounds like it's very subjective, which means that if we're going to try to have a comparison, which really means which students are really doing the best, you're kind of eliminating all of that. And see, to me, academics is about achieving the highest level and trying to have that goal to reach that point. It seems like you're just trying to dumb it down, and that's me. I think this is a disaster.
So that's patently wrong. All right, when you looked at what we had there, you saw exceeding the standard. So those students who are exceeding the standard are the ones that you're looking at for achieving that goal and beyond that goal. And you want to recognize that as well, because you're trying to differentiate not just for the kids who need to struggle, you're trying to differentiate for the kids who are achieving and achieving higher. So you've got to differentiate that thought and go, wow, you're doing so good, you're getting extra. So it's exactly the opposite of what you're saying. Right? So it's about making it's not subjective. It's actually objective, because you can meet the standard or you don't meet the standard, or you exceed the standard or you can be more close to the standard. That's exactly what this is about.
Isn't that the teacher that's making that subjective decision?
No, because that's why we write the rule. So there's more to come on this, right? There's a lot developing it as it's taught. We have lots of examples, like Ms. McAvoy said, her district been using it for many years. Half the districts in Ocean County use it. We, as a district, are developing it for use for us, to make sure that those high achieving kids and low achieving kids are all serviced to meet that grade level expectation. The highest level kids and those who are really going to achieve, are going to continue to achieve even higher and higher, because we know they've met the standard somewhere along the way. So thank you. All right.
Thank you, Mr. Zielinski. I appreciate the, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Clement.
Okay. So I'm going to conclude my comments this evening just to once again congratulate all of our graduates, even though they're not officially graduated. I want to thank all of our teachers for an incredible and challenging year. We've had some hurdles, but we got through them. And so I thank all of our teachers, support staff, grounds and maintenance, our bus drivers, cafeteria staff, our coaches, custodians, our school nurses, our secretarial staff, the list goes on and on. Our paraprofessionals for a tremendous year. And if you can make it to graduation, we hope to see you there. I also want to mention that I will be sending out a year-end letter to our school community to just highlight some things that we're doing this summer, but to also talk about school security, because I know that that is a topic on everybody's mind. But I am happy to announce tonight that through the hard work and collaboration with our township committee, the Lacey Township Police Department, we are reinstating our Class 3 officers and hiring 2 additional SSOs, which stands for School Safety Officer. For those of you who know Officer Brignola, he is an SSO, which means that each of our schools will have a retired armed police officer in each of our 6 schools. So we're very happy that we were able to collaborate with the Township Committee and the Police Department. So my letter will outline that, among other things. And that concludes my comments. Best wishes for a solid ending, a excellent graduation, and a happy summer.
Thank you, Dr. Pereira. I forgot you were still on your report. It's been so long. Okay, so before we move on to public comment, I just want to take a quick moment to spotlight a couple of our students. I have two of them tonight. Alexander McWeeny. He was an attendee of the Cedar Creek School, Mill Pond and Middle School, and he graduated from Mates in 2018. He went on a full academic scholarship to Princeton University to study mathematics, which he graduated in May of 2022. At this point, he received a full academic scholarship to MIT to complete a PhD program in mathematics and geometric analysis, and he will be moving to Boston in August to complete that. So a note from Alex's mom. She's very grateful for the foundation that the Lacey schools have given him. He had wonderful teachers who embraced him, and she's grateful for everything that you did. Very much. And the other one I'm going to spotlight, Mrs. McAvoy, one of your children, Max McAvoy. He was a graduate from our Lacey Township High School in 2011. He went to Cape Fear Community College in Wilmington, North Carolina, received his associate's degree in marine technology. His dream was to be a boat captain, so he satisfied requirements to get his six-pack license. A few years later, he received his master up to 100 tons license, which means he can captain boats with over 6 passengers and up to 100 tons. Max captains boats 6 months in Sag Harbor, New York, and 6 months in West Palm Beach, Florida. He lives on a sailboat and enjoys working and living on the water. And those that don't know Max, Max was not a school person in the beginning of his career here at Lacey, but he certainly built his way up, and we're proud of all his accomplishments there. So congratulations, Max. So with that, we're going to open the floor to public comment. An audience member wishing to make a comment will raise his or her hand. When called upon, state their name, address, affiliation, intention to make a statement. Comments are addressed to the board president. Comments are made on one issue at a time. Comments are limited to 5 minutes. No audience member shall be recognized twice. To all who have wished to comment have been recognized. This portion of the meeting is for public comments only. There will be no questions answered. The purpose of this board meeting is to perform our business in public. Everyone is entitled to public comment. If there is a question for the board, there's an established chain of command to follow. At this time, who would like to go? I handed it back. All the way up top. Come on down.
Bob Schinder, Forked River. Before my 5 minutes start, can I just ask a question for my son about the grades that you guys were just talking about?
Sure, Mrs. Linsky, listen up.
Is there still going to be a GPA? 4.0, 4.2?
Yes.
Yep.
Yes, this is K through 4, this report.
Oh, I thought it was K-12.
No.
Oh, no.
Oh, okay.
No.
Then,
See, I even knew the answer.
there you go. Start the clock. Hello, my name is Bob Schinder, 22 Bobway Court, Forked River, president of Lacey Youth Wrestling Club. I've been involved in Lacey wrestling in some capacity since around 2003. At this point, I believe it's safe to say everyone on the board knows who I am, and that everyone in a position of power up there agrees that this high school needs a bigger wrestling room. On April 12th, my organization brought in an architect and an engineer to view the space and meet with the superintendent, business administrator, athletic director, head of facilities, along with myself and Coach Bones. Everyone left that meeting pumped up and fully confident we could get this project completed. It was the architects and engineers' opinion that this is a rehab project under the Uniform Construction Code and not an expansion. They have provided us with documentation to support their views, which I will email to everyone. I believe some of you have seen it. Fast forward 2 months and this project seems to have stalled. At least that's what I'm seeing. It has been viewed by some as one that needs to be classified as an expansion, which means bringing that area up to code, which means HVAC and life safety. It will at least triple the cost of the project. The reason I'm here is to challenge that view, as I feel it is absurd. This project is literally no different than the project that took place in November of 2019, under the current administration, I might add. At that time, you took a 16-foot by 39-foot dead space area that was used as storage between the wood shop and the wrestling room, knocked down walls, put up sheetrock walls, which our project does not require, and brought in wrestling mat and wall pad to give the team a little more space. If anyone is not aware of that project and that it took place, it's most likely because it was done the right way. It was just done. No questions, no red tape, just done, because it was simple. Just as this would be simple, as I'll explain. We have a 39-foot by 39-foot wrestling room. But we also have two 18.5-foot by 39.5-foot condemned classrooms with non-weight-bearing sheetrock walls just adjacent to it. Same type of sheetrock walls that were in the 2919 project I just talked about. This wrestling classroom combo at one time was a mirror of the current wood shop. It was 39 feet by 78 feet of open area, concrete walls, concrete floor. It would make a beautiful wrestling room. At some point prior to 2016, I'm not exactly sure when, a class of high school students that were in some type of reformatory program were brought in and taught how to frame, sheetrock, and spackle. They built those sheetrock walls that divide that space. These classrooms are currently not in use. It is dead space, just as the area between the woodshop and the wrestling room was. Now we are asking for those walls to be taken down to return the area to open space so we can put down mat and put up wall pad. Why are we being told it has to be done as some monster construction project with permit and codes and HVAC system? Is it to fix missteps maybe? If it is, we should not have to pay for that, and I don't think we will be willing to pay for that. That's a complete waste of our money. It goes from a sub $40,000 project to one that is well into six figures. We just need that space to be returned to the 39 by 78 open area it once was. If you're adamant about it being called a project, we can get plans. It can all happen under the rehabilitation classification of the Uniform Construction Code. We are not asking for new construction. We just want it returned to open space. If that happens, we will pay, and we have the money right now to pad that space, put down new mats, and our town will finally have a legitimate wrestling room. I don't understand why our program always has to deal with such resistance when it comes to things like this. It took 3 years to hang a damn spotlight in the gym, yet I've watched Point Borough take their spotlight from their high school to their middle school when they wrestle us. Our students have seen things like school closing one day with the weight room in the small East Auks gym and the school opening the next day with it in the West, much larger Auks gym. That space was just commandeered. We should have bought a dumpster on the weekend and taken the walls down ourselves. Gone the Coach Versillo motto of better to ask forgiveness than permission. My time in this youth program is coming to an end. My son will be in high school soon. I've watched kids choose other schools like Southern and now Donovan Catholic. I've put so much time into this program, often at a detriment to my business. All I ever wanted was a top 20 team in this state, and we're still a long way from that because we don't have an adequate home. John Stout, one of many former Lacey wrestlers, no longer affiliated with our program, who is also the former head coach of Southern Regional, recently told me that the biggest change in Southern's program came when they got a 40 by 80 wrestling room, because it allowed their wrestlers the experience to practice in the same intense training environment. I always wondered how unknown kids from Southern became well-trained wrestlers by their junior or sometimes senior year, seemingly to come out of nowhere and be hammers and place on the podium in Atlantic City and help Southern be a top 10 team in the state year in and year out. Well, it turns out it's because of a large wrestling room.
Thank you. Sir.
Good evening. My name is Jerry Dasty. I'm not quite a 50-year resident of the town, but I'm not here for that. I have the honor of being the chairman of the board of Ocean County College, Board of Trustees. And I just wanted to express to everybody what a great job the superintendents and the guidance office have done this year. We have a program at the college with, I think now, every one of the high schools in the county, whereby if you're a junior in high school, you can start taking college credits, and you can take up to 30 credits a year. And that means if you take 60 credits by the time you finish your senior year in high school, you're a junior in college because you will have achieved a 2-year associate's degree from Ocean County College. Now, what does that do for you? Well, it saves your mom and dad or you 2 years of very high tuition because you're not going to Rutgers. You're going to your bedroom to study, and you're paying for a very, very a good education at a really good price. So when the children the students who take advantage of this program, when they're 18 years of age, they're juniors in college, and they only have 2 years to go. And if they wanted to, they could go to Cane at Ocean and stay here if their mother or father would let them stay in the bedroom. And then they could just go to Toms River and get a 4-year degree. The reason I bring this up is because I'm very proud of what's happened here in the town. We have this program with, I think, every single high school in the county. And this year, 75 or so students got their Ocean County College 2-year degree as high school seniors. As a matter of fact, they got their college degree about 2 or 3 weeks before their high school degree, because they graduate, commencement is late May, and of course, I guess for high school it's middle of June. Like I said, there were 75 or so students who took advantage of this program. 35 of them are from Lacey Township, and I think it's just a tremendous achievement for the administration, the teachers, the guidance counselors, and I'm really happy to say that as a taxpayer of the town, big time. I think that really you all deserve a great deal of credit. And that's it. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
May I add something real quick? Just to add, sir, we've done that for over 100 students at this point now, have earned their college degree before the high school degree. So we're very proud of that. Thank you. Yeah, we started it and now they're all tagging on our coattails. But thank you, sir.
Thank you. Anyone else? Anyone else? Ma'am.
Lorraine, I have a kid in high school. Schools should be a safe place. Kids should not be afraid of being bullied or harassed. That we can all agree on. No one should be discriminated against for any reason in school. We can all agree on that too. School is the place that is supposed to give kids the tools, knowledge, and skills they need to pursue their dreams, passions, and interests. Even though public school falls short there, we can all agree that should be the goal. School should teach students how to think critically, how to examine all sides and form an educated opinion, and how to discern facts from propaganda. School no longer does that, but it should get back to it. Posters of various skin-toned raised fists have no place in the halls of our school. They do not symbolize unity. They symbolize BLM, the corrupt organization, and they encourage division, judging others by their skin color, and segregation. Pride posters, passing out pride pencils and stickers, and teachers celebrating Pride Month in the halls do not belong in schools. It does not promote acceptance and tolerance. It is not celebrating those from that community who have made actual contributions to history or our country or the world. It's promoting a lifestyle. It's a celebration about a person's gender identity or who they have sex with. That does not belong in school. Being gay, what someone identifies as, or what color someone's skin is not what we should be teaching our students to place their whole identity in. They are so much more than that. When did public school become just another extension of the political field instead of the place that prepares our children for their futures? When did it become indoctrination instead of education? When did we throw common sense out the window under the guise of being kind? In fact, Lacey has a bullying problem despite all of this virtue signaling. The whole country has a bullying problem despite how woke everyone is. I'm not here to tell anyone who they should be or what they should believe, and neither should the school. If you want unity and kindness, stop labeling kids with superficial labels. Start helping them discover their passions and what they're good at. Stop focusing only on the smart kids when it comes to academic. Stop acting like the athletes are the only other worthy group of kids in the school. Stop telling kids the classes they really want to take are full, so they're stuck taking a business class that I'm sure not one kid actually signs up for. Stop spending money on propaganda posters and use it for the forgotten kids who are not smart or athletic. Maybe if we start focusing on these things, we wouldn't have so many kids searching for an identity and purpose in such superficial areas of their lives. And maybe, just maybe, anxiety and depression would go down. And maybe people would be kinder to each other. And maybe school would finally be a safe place that actually serves the students in a meaningful way. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Come on down.
Good evening, Richard A. Bidnick, Forked River. I attended 2 of the listening and learn sessions that were conducted by the school district in the last month. To say that they were an eye-opener is putting it lightly. I knew things were bad here in the school district, but not quite this bad. Children throwing chairs across the room in the classrooms, excessive amount of bullying, teachers bullying students, and a total lack of respect and discipline, which has led to all of this. Why aren't the children being taught respect in our schools was a question that I actually asked. Everything in our society is based on this term. It is the foundation of a functioning society. But where is it? It seems they are more concerned about the issues dealing with transgenders and Pride rainbow celebrations and teaching sex education to our children. At this point, I implore this school district to not even waste any time in trying to incorporate any of the 2020 comprehensive sex education standards insanity that Trenton is trying to force on the education of our students. The school board should vote to completely opt out, like several other school districts have already done. Why are you even bothering to waste any time, money, and effort on this insanity is beyond my comprehension. Just opt out. 2, which leads me to this. Our school board does not respect the citizens it represents. They do not listen to what the public says. They do what they want. And the reason for the apathy in this town is why bother to come to a meeting and complain? It all falls on empty ears anyway. Our own board president is a perfect example of this. He goes and files criminal charges against 4 private citizens and 1 elected official because they refused to wear a face diaper at one of his meetings. Not only that, the board should be setting an example. And the example that they have been exhibiting is one of disrespect and bullying of the public. It all starts at the top and trickles on down. At the last meeting, I explained to the public about a hearing I virtually attended concerning Ms. DeSenza and a former school board attorney, Mr. Subsey. I was called basically a liar by the board president when he said everything I say is fake news. Interestingly enough, one of the things that they did not mention was that Mr. Polino, Ms. Downing, Mr. Peters were all witnesses in this same case, and they were sequestered by the court. They could not hear the testimony that was given by Mr. Giordano. Having our board attorney go and investigate another school board member and 2 private citizens who were running for school board is not only unethical, it seems to be illegal to spend taxpayers' monies on such things, all to dig up dirt on their opponents. I happen to have the transcript here of Mr. Giordano's testimony. Would Ms. Downing, Mr. Polino, and Mr. Peters like me to read this to the public, what Mr. Giordano told the court under sworn testimony, since you all said that everything I say is fake news? Mr. Polino, you have publicly slandered and defamed me, especially at the October 2021 school board meeting. You are the epitome of the ails that this school district suffers. The example that you have set is one of disrespect, bullying, defaming, and slandering members of the public who do not agree with you. How can we expect our children to turn out any differently when this is the culture and example that is being set by members of this board? And from what I understand, these ethics hearings are not going away anytime soon, and the legal bills will continue to climb. There are hearings set for as late as October of this year. This board's culture is not one of working to make our school district better. It's all about power and nothing else. Because if they truly cared about your kids and their education, things would be much, much different here. As a citizen who has been attending these meetings since 2010, I can say quite equivocally that things have just continued to go downhill. We have 3 seats open this year, and I implore members of the public to get your petitions and run, because nothing is going to change unless we change this board. In the meantime, I advise all parents who can figure a way out to do it to take your children out of this school district, either private or homeschooling. It's your child. Do what's right by them. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else? Okay, seeing none, we're going to move on. All right, so let's go to, we're going to come back to Dr. Clark here. Let's start with board comments. So we'll start down to my right. Excuse me? Oh, yeah, did I miss that? Oh, I did, I'm sorry. Committee reports. Let's start with policy.
Okay. We started our policy meeting at 4 o'clock. It was a pretty brief meeting. Myself, Mr. Peters, Linda Downing, and Dr. Pereira were there. We don't have anything to present tonight for first read. The committee did not discuss new items, but there was a policy alert, which we'll be discussing in July. We had 3 discussions. One, Mr. Dowd gave us a safety net update. We asked him if he could just take a look at other Ocean County schools just to compare the safety net that we've been talking about. He is going to come back, I think next month or the month after, just to let us know how much we really use the safety net this semester. But basically, we need to come up with a policy first read next month if we're going to implement it in September. It was noted that for Ocean County schools, they do use the safety net, except one, which is Barnegat. The other schools in Ocean County range from 45, average is 55, one was 60, and some use it for marking periods 1, marking period 2. Some use it 1, 2, 3, and 4, depending on, I guess, when is needed. So as a whole, we need to come up with a policy that's for everyone. So he's suggesting dropping it to 55, and I'm hoping we can just knock it down to 1 marking period. So I'd love some input if you guys want to let me know before the next policy meeting. We were given policy 5460 for high school graduation. Dr. Pereira led a brief discussion on policy and asked the committee members to just review for next month. We also discussed policy 0169, board member use of social networks. Dr. Pereira shared a New Jersey School Board notes, and we developed and their policies to social networks. No changes are made to our current policy. We feel it aligns pretty well. We also discussed disclaimers if they're used. Just be careful because it might not protect you in the end with ethics, even though it is freedom of speech. There's no co-curricular agendas to discuss. Safety and security, we just talked about the track. So we're going to refer that to the Facilities and Finance Committee. If you can look into getting a camera, maybe come up with a cost for that. And that's pretty much it. It was a quick, easy meeting. So no first reads for tonight.
Thank you. Any
Any
questions?
discussion?
I do. I have a question. The camera, that's probably when I left early.
Just to
the
see who
camera
comes in
is
and
for
out.
what?
Because now that it's open to public use, just to see who comes in and out, since we don't have someone sitting there manning the
Okay, for
the track.
security, safety.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's it.
Thanks.
Thank you, Ms.
Yep,
Close.
thank you.
Curriculum, Ms. Downing, you ready?
Basically, Kim just said everything. We crisscrossed the two committees. We also talked about the safety net update. Supervisor Dowd led a discussion of the middle school and high school safety net. And as Kim said, they are recommending lowering it from 60 to a 55. And we did not agree on one marking period, though. We're still in discussion with that. Where they're recommending 2 rather than 1, but that discussion will continue. You're voting tonight on the world language new books, 7 through 12. And we ran out of time because there were other things going on in the district, so we're going to continue our meeting in a week or 2. So that's it. Thank you.
Any questions? Okay. Finance?
Okay. I'll start with negotiations. We are still working on the salary guides with the union. We did agree on the 1-year salary. We're just working on the guides. We're not coming to consensus. The union has given us about 4 guides. We've given them 1, and we cannot come to terms. We're going to meet with them. We have a meeting coming up with the mediator. We were supposed to meet last night, but unfortunately, the mediator for both sides had to cancel because of family issues. So we're waiting for him to give us another date, and we will discuss salary guides again. And if we can't come together, we will go to fact finding on that. And we're also going to discuss the 3-year contract. So hopefully we can get this settled. I know the union wants it settled, and I know the Board of Ed wants it settled. So we're working hard on that. And in my report, there's been so much on social media that we're approving up to $3 million tonight for our maintenance and our capital money. That money cannot be used for salaries for the teachers. And Mrs. Sylvia, can you please give us a little update on that up to $3 million that we'll be voting on tonight?
Yes. I'd like to just stress that it is worded as up to $3 million. It may not be that much money, and that money comes from unspent funds throughout the entire budget. It's not from one line. It's not from one item. It also is from unknown revenue sources that we may have gotten through the year. So we determine this amount once our audit is closer to being finalized. And this money is very important for the district. We've used this money to do one-time projects throughout the district. We've replaced boilers, we've done HVAC projects, we were able to fund the security vestibules, and we've got a long list of other projects that need to be completed throughout the district. We've got roofing issues, we have solar issues, we've got paving and curbing, interior and exterior door projects, classroom upgrades that we're looking to do. And the only way that we can fund this money or fund these projects is with this money. So that is the basis for that agenda item.
Okay, thank you, because I know it was all over today that that money could be used for the teacher salaries, and unfortunately it cannot. As for the finance and facilities meeting, myself, Mr. Polino, and Mr. Peters attended with Dr. Pereira and Mr. DeGeorge and Ms. Sylvia. Mr. DeGeorge told us about a new building facilities log that will be used by the district, and it'll be a record of all the major facilities projects that are taking place at all the buildings. So anyone coming in or anyone wants to know what projects that are taking place, we will have a new log about it. And the log will also, another log will also show the projects that are projected to be completed in the district. We discussed the high school football field and the use of other teams using the high school football field at nights, because there's lights now. So instead of going to senior night at Gillyfield or Hebrew, other teams will be scheduled to use the football field under the lights. And I know the community's been asking for that, and that's something new, and Mrs. Del Vento discussed it with Dr. Pereira, so she will be scheduling teams to be using it. So I know a lot of parents will be happy about that. Mr. Hermato walked out, but he asked that we talk about purchasing turf. And we discussed it at the facilities and finance meeting, Mr. Amato, I'm talking about the turf. And at this point, it was determined by the committee that the approximate cost of $1.5 million, we do not have it, even though Mr. Amato brought it up as a way for revenue, which was a great idea, and we did explore it. At this point, we do not have the approximate $1.5 million for turf. So we will continue to discuss it, and we know that we'll have another S2 cut of $2 million next year. So at this point, it wasn't feasible. We talked about if it was possible to put lighting on other fields, and at this point, that would have to come from a booster group or foundation group, because the district cannot pay for lights on other athletic fields at this point. Mrs. Sylvia discussed the purchasing manual that'll get approved tonight. We had a detailed discussion regarding serious budgetary and financial issues that the district will face in the upcoming year. We'll be talking about the solar panels at the next meeting. We discussed about DK and transitional first grade, Mrs. Bentley. And I know the board all wants DK and T1, and we're going to continue to discuss it at the curriculum meeting because it is one of the priorities of the board. Tonight, we're approving that fees of student breakfasts and lunches are going up 5 cents. So it's in the agenda, and that's necessary. We were too low in prices. At this point, we're going out to bid for various cafeteria supplies because the current bid expires at the end of the year. And we discussed a new position, a board certified behavioral analyst position. Currently, that is hourly, and we are going to put a posting out, and that's going to be a full-time person, and it'll save us money than paying hourly for the services of this. And we discussed possibly consolidating some bus routes, and the transportation coordinator and Mrs. Sylvia will be in constant talks to try to consolidate bus routes where we can. And we discussed all the resolutions for tonight. Are there any questions from the board members?
I have one.
Yes.
With regard to the turf field, I know it's a discussion for the future, but can we, so we're looking at a multi-purpose turf field. That means soccer, lacrosse, football, field hockey. If I'm missing anything, I'm sorry. I mean, can I make a public plea right now to our coaches to begin fundraisers for a field? I mean, we're going to need the community's help on this one. This is going to be a huge revenue driver for the district. And to sit on our hands on this one and ask, where's the money, and knowing that they're going to be cuts not next year, probably the year after, this district needs a revenue driver. And it's an easy way out right now is to get this multi-purpose field. And so I asked the coaches for all the outdoor sports that play on a turf field, and who want to play under the lights, please, begin your fundraising today. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, now
Is there any other questions?
concludes.
Mr. Polino, may I just add one more thing? to
Sure,
your
go ahead, Ms.
report?
Downey. Thank you,
I
Ms.
forgot to
Downey.
say, but our special education CPAG, Dr. Pereira, have you reached out to them for a date?
Yes.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Yeah, I'm just waiting for them
Okay.
to confirm.
So that we can meet, because you, okay?
I'll take a look.
Do you have a date?
I asked for it to be
At a curriculum meeting? After, okay. Well, that's coming up in a couple of weeks.
Well,
so-
I think that day we tried to schedule a curriculum meeting
Okay,
on that
good.
same day.
Perfect.
Yeah.
All right. Look forward to seeing you then. I'm sorry. Sounds good.
That's it?
Thank you. Yep.
Thank you. Okay, Dr. Pearl, do you have anything you want to add, follow up on anything?
No, I think my report was long enough.
Okay. Board comments, we'll start down to Ms. Claus today.
Okay. I just wanted to congratulate, of course, all the student athletes that came here tonight. It just speaks volumes that the programs just keep growing. And, I just want to thank the coaches for allowing that to happen, and also give a shout out to Ms. Del Vento, our athletic director, who's really built every program that we have, every sports program. The kids are breaking records every day, and it's amazing. So congratulations to them. Also want to congratulate the Math League. I had no idea that we had so many students that were in the league, and they did amazing. So again, a shout out to the parents. It takes a lot of effort to and teachers to get them to where they are. I do have a question about the rehabilitative remark that the wrestling coach made. What was he talking about labeling it something different so we can get the room?
It's a rehab instead of,
A
rather than a new construction.
Did we look into that, or is this something new that was just presented
I believe,
tonight?
our school architect met with their architect,
Right.
and it can't be, if I'm not mistaken, Mr. George, it can't be a rehab because everything has to be up to code.
Yes, that's correct. It's a fundamental difference of professional opinion based on law and code. So right, so that's where we're at.
Okay.
You understand? Got that? It's, yeah.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure that was looked into. I haven't heard that yet. So I also attended the Listen and Learn. I did learn a lot, and I'm hoping more community members come out. We had about 15 or 20 that came out, and I learned a lot, and I'm hoping the community learned a lot, and I would like everyone to keep coming. Hopefully more will come. And we do listen, Mr. Bidnick. We take it in, and we do. I feel like we represent who voted us in. I feel I do, and I'm open to the community communicating with me, so I can relay anything that you have to the board and to the administration. So please keep contacting us, and please reach out. I also wanted to express my condolences to the families of the 19 students and 2 teachers who lost their lives in the Texas elementary school. Lacey Township holds safety and security at the highest level to protect our students and staff. We have invested heavily in our Class 3 officers and SSOs, ALS training, and vestibules in every school, and will continue to keep upgrading when needed. Our thoughts and prayers are with them. And Mr. George, I just want to say thank you for answering all my 1,000 questions and phone calls and texts, and I appreciate everything you've done. And you'll be missed. So congratulations on your retirement. And that's all I have.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Peters?
Can I go first? I want to say ditto all the time.
All right. Next month, I'll let you go first.
Pretty much same thing Kim said, but I did attend a science fair. It was really cool just to see amazing what these students can do. And I'm proud to say this. I know the difference between the Dawn Power Wash and the regular Dawn, but one of the students' projects was, did it actually work better than regular Dawn, the Dawn Power Wash them there? And they actually determined that no, that you spent the extra money for Dawn Power Wash and it didn't work, but that was cool. I also saw a 3D propeller that a student did with the 3D printer that was really cool. And there was one student there that discussed sodium chloride, how it actually, the effects of it working on snow, and being in the summer removal business myself. It was pretty cool to see their findings there, what they had. I did attend the listening and learning nights, both nights. One got cut short due to the weather. The math group, phenomenal job. Sports group, I'll just say quick, phenomenal job. Mr. George, enjoy your vacation.
That's it.
That's it. Done. Quick. Go.
Mr. Amato.
If I may, with the board's permission, I'd like to recognize 2 people in town who have accomplished a great feat just a couple of weeks ago in the Keys. One of them being my beautiful wife, Cheryl Armato, and a fellow Lacey resident, Guy Ewan, who ran from Key Largo to Key West 100 miles, and they accomplished that feat in 31 hours from Saturday to Sunday. It was an amazing thing. I love sports more than anything, and to see someone run through that heat, through that humidity, and no breaks, just ice pack after ice pack after ice pack on the head, on the feet, in the bras. It was crazy. It was just a phenomenal event, and I'd like to congratulate them. I think they did not only themselves proud, but I think they did the community of Lacey very proud too. For me, it was a great night celebrating our brilliant math minds and our resilient athletes. They both shared a common title tonight, and that is champions. Congratulations to them. It's amazing. Thank you to the Mill Pond School for the Mill Pond School PTA for such a generous donation. Once again, thank you very much. I attended Dr. Pereira's Listen and Learn session, and I learned a lot. You're right. I can't believe what's going on. But I also believe that we're in good hands with our superintendent at the seat. She has a game plan. She wants to execute that game plan. And I think in this crazy world that we live in now for the last couple of years, patience is a virtue. But I can assure you, the person who's leading this district is the right person to lead this district. She's not afraid to say no. And she says yes when she has to, and she pushes back when she has to, and that's a sign of a good leader. So I think we're in good hands with Dr. Pereira. And last but not least, the guy who made this pretty easy for me as I was elected and got to sit in the chair, always willing to help, share information, and make me feel like a welcome part of this Board of Education. That's to you, Mr. DeGeorge. I wish you the best of happiness, and I hope you and your family get to enjoy your little puppy, and hopefully there's some traveling involved there too. So congratulations. I'm sure it's well deserved. Godspeed. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Morano. Mrs. Downing?
Yes, thank you. So there were so many accolades to our athletes and coaches tonight. Congratulations to them all. It's so good to see them here, and we're acknowledging them. The Ocean County Math League winners, again, that's a tough competition. It's throughout the county. It's not just Lacey. It's not just a couple schools. It's through the county, and mostly Lacey. And you've done a tremendous job organizing and keeping them going. So thank you. Donna, congratulations on your certified board certificate or whatever, certified board leader. You did a great job, and it was an honor to go to the dinner and watch you get it. Mr. George. I want to thank you for all your years since we've been together.
Yes.
We've had our pros and cons at times, and you're always there though within a text or a phone call and to answer questions, and you don't lose your patience. That's what I have to say. And I wanted to say, but your wife's not here. There's, some people talk about their husbands or wives, and say nice things about them when they're here and all. But this man talks about his wife constantly and how good she is to him and how much he loves her. So that says a lot about your personality and your character. So good luck. I hope you do a better job at retirement than I did. But lots of luck to you, and I hope you enjoy it in good health. I want to thank the Township Committee for collaborating with our board members and our administration to give us help when we needed it for the SSOs and the school safety officers. So we've always had a good relationship with the Township Committee, some bumps here and there, but I'm so glad they stepped forward and helped, especially in a time when you can see TV and see the need for it. Mr. Dasty was here talking about the Ocean County Academy, the graduates, 29 graduates. I know Kim, Donna, and myself were able to attend with Dr. Pereira to watch them receive their diplomas. And what was really nice was Dr. Larson took a few minutes just to praise Lacey and the job they did with this academy. So, and congratulations to all our students.
And we were the only high school mentioned, by the way.
Yes, the only one. And And I just want to take this time now to congratulate all the high school graduates, wish them lots of luck and best wishes for a happy future, whichever path they choose. And I want to congratulate the middle school also, our new 8th graders becoming freshmen, and those that are going to PAA and the Law and Public Academy and MATES. Lots of luck to those students in their new environments, in their new schools. And even though we're going to miss them being here, we wish them a lot of luck, and they're going to a place that's going to hopefully help them with their future. So thank you. That's it.
Thank you, Ms. Downing. Very nice. Ms. McAvoy.
Sure. This meeting was so exciting. All the awards, all the students coming, celebrating the students at the board meetings, having the public be able to celebrate with us, Mrs. Costa and all the other teachers. That was incredible. We love that. We love it, and congratulations. The Special Olympics, all the students from our special needs program that participated in Special Olympics the last few weekends, congratulations. We saw many awards. That's wonderful. I don't know if anybody mentioned it, but we received, Dr. Pereira shared it with us. We received a letter from the Ocean County College outlining how much money our families and students saved in the 2021-2022 academic year by participating in that early college program. The total was $774,000, more than any other district in the county. So that was a really nice letter we received. This month was so exciting for the board members. We were able to participate in so many events. We went to the graduation at the Ocean County College, the NHS ceremony, the Teacher of the Year breakfast, the Listen and Learning forums, and we have the 8th grade graduation, the high school graduation coming up. So it's an exciting time to be a board member and celebrate all the students in the district. Congratulations to Dr. Pereira. She was nominated and appointed as the new president of the Ocean County Association of School Administrators. So thank you. I'm sure you'll serve that well. All the community service that was done by the students this year at all the schools. Every month in the superintendent's report, we see all the community service that all the students are participating in. Last week, I was at the food bank when the Proud Paws came, the Mill Pond organization. They collected 260 boxes of cereal. So it was incredible. It helped the food bank, and it also helped the students learn altruism and community service. And the last thing, of course, is Mr. DeGeorge. And you know I'll miss you, being the finance chairperson, working so closely with you, getting to know you so well the last 6 years. It's been an honor, and the district will miss you, and I will miss you. You're welcome. Thank you. I'm done. Thank you, Mr. Polino.
Thank you. Mr. Scanlon. Start out, I would like to congratulate all the students who were recognized tonight for their outstanding achievements in both academics and sports, especially the math team. I have a connection there. As a 7th grade teacher, I taught math for 13 years and science for 20. So I know that's quite an accomplishment what you did there. I'd also like to congratulate the 35 Lacey seniors who graduated from OCC this year. That also is a great accomplishment. I'd like to thank the many community and school-based organizations who combined to award over $250,000 in scholarships. And I'd also like to thank the Lacey community for their support of these organizations and their fundraisers. Thank you to the Mill Pond School PTA for their donation of $10,000. That's a result of their dedication and hard work, raising funds for the playground equipment. I'd like to also thank Mr. DeGeorge for his service to our district and for his patience and friendship towards me over the past 2.5 years that I've worked with him as a member of the Finance Committee and a member of the school board. I really feel that I came on here knowing very little about him, and we did develop, I think, a close working relationship and a friendship that I'll cherish. Thank you, Mr. DeGeorge. And other than that, I would just say that I would like to thank again all the students and their families who work academically and in sports to keep this school system good. And thank you for staying with our school system. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Scanlon. Okay, so pretty much everything that I'm going to say, everybody took, as Mr. Peter says, ditto. But again, congratulations to all our student athletes on their great success this year. Some major accomplishments. Our coaches, Mr. Torrey, Mr. Bonatitis, congratulations on your awards. Certainly a proud thing that you received. Mill Pond parents in PTA, thank you so much for that donation. And I know Ms. Navick said she was looking forward to seeing a new playground equipment, and I'm sure that'll be done for the beginning of the school year, right? Mrs. Guerrero, yes?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
I thought you were asking.
No, I'm looking at you, but you just.
Yes.
So that's exciting for them over there. I really want to emphasize what Mrs. Downing said with the Township Committee. They really stepped up, and they see the need, and they saw that we're struggling, and they really came, stepped up and came forth to help us. So if you ever see the council people out and about and the mayor, just thank them for helping us out. We do have a good relationship with them and the police department, and it really was truly great to have them help us out with this and our officers. Congratulate the staff members of the month on your awards. That was very nice. And with that, Mr. DeGeorge, I'm gonna, say like everybody else said, you've always been a gentleman and a scholar to me. Knowing very little coming in, you're very patient with me and repeating things. I keep asking the same questions, and you've schooled me well. I've learned a lot. You're certainly well deserving of your retirement. I know you'll enjoy it, especially when you don't have to walk to the mailbox at the first of the month to collect your pension check, which you're certainly well deserved. Stay well, stay safe, and thank you for all you've done for our district, and greatly appreciate it. Ms. Sylvia, I'm excited to be working with you closely for at least the next 6 months. And I got to tell you, I'm really happy you stepped up for us and came in. From the amount of work you've done in a short period of time, I'm impressed. And I'm really excited, and I think you're a good fit here, and I think you can do very well. And I'm excited. I'm sure the rest of the board is excited to have you. So with that, I'm looking forward to graduation tomorrow night for the 8th grade. It's going to be hot. Monday, the seniors. Looking forward to that too. And with that, we're going to go to some resolutions and new business. All right. All right. Number 1, under new business, A1, minutes, motion.
Move. Second.
Roll call.
Mr. Armato?
Abstain.
Mrs. Claus?
Yes.
Mr. Peters?
Yes.
Mrs. McAvoy?
Yes.
Mrs. Downing?
Yes.
Mr. Scanlon?
Yes.
Mr. Polino?
Yes. 2 through 3, list of bills and final bills listed transfers. Motion.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
Discussion? Roll call.
Mr. Armato?
Yes.
Mrs. Claus?
Yes.
Mr. Peters?
Yes.
Mrs. McAvoy?
Yes.
Mrs. Downing?
Yes.
Abstain?
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, thank you. I have to abstain on bill number 950450 and bill number 953843, 950460, due to conflicts. Thank you. Thanks for reminding me.
Thank you. Mr. Scanlon?
Yes.
And Mr. Polino?
Yes. Number 4 and 5, transfers.
3.
Motion? I'll move it.
Second.
Second.
Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Armato?
Yes.
Mrs. Claus?
Yes.
Mr. Peters?
Yes.
Mrs. McAvoy?
Yes.
Mrs. Downing?
Yes.
Mr. Scanlon,
Yes.
Mr. Polino.
Yes. Number 6 through 12, finance. Whole bunch of transfers and sale of SRICs.
I'll move that.
A second.
Discussion.
I just want to remind everybody, item number 6, it is determined that up to the $3 million, and that would be capital projects, roof replacement, solar, paving, curving, exterior doors, HVAC, STEM room completion, so all major projection projects.
Thank you. Any other discussion?
Yes, for number 9, I'm just concerned that we're using $326,000 of grant money to sustain our staff. So we have a big task ahead this year to filter that back into our regular budget. It just concerns me with the money that we're going to be losing also. So just wanted to acknowledge that. Thank you.
Any
Do we
other
lose
discussion?
that extra money next year?
No, the year after.
20,
This is
23, 24, we lose it?
This was not ESSER.
No.
Right.
No.
Good.
It's
Good.
not ESSER.
Number 9?
Number 9 is not ESSER.
Not ESSER.
That is Title I money, and we allocate a portion of Title I to salaries every year.
It says
That's a-
ESC,
ESCA.
EA, not
Yeah.
ESSER.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Yeah. Big difference. Look at it quickly.
Okay, then I take it back.
Any other discussion? Well, roll call?
Mr. Armato?
Yes.
Mrs. Claus?
Yes.
Mr. Peters?
yes.
Mrs. McAvoy?
Yes.
Mrs. Downing?
Yes.
Mr. Scanlon?
Yeah, yes.
Mr. Polino?
Yes. 13 through 22, facilities and insurances. Motion?
I'll move it.
I'll second.
Discussion? Roll call?
Mr. Armato?
Yes.
Mrs. Claus?
Yes.
Mr. Peters?
Yes.
Mrs. McAvoy?
Yes.
Mrs. Downing?
Yes, but I'm voting no on 21.
Mr. Scanlon?
Yes.
And Mr. Polino?
Yes. 23 through 32, technology. Motion?
Move.
I'll second.
Discussion? Roll call?
Yes.
Yeah, go ahead, Mr. Peters.
On number 32, that's ESSER 3 grant, correct? For $13,000?
Yes.
For the frontline education?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Any discussion?
Just one question, if I
Sir,
may.
go ahead.
SHI is SHI International is a company that we chose to purchase web content and I believe Chromebooks. Is there any way we could start leasing Chromebooks instead of purchasing them outright so we can get upgrades when they become dinosaurs? And that usually happens pretty quick in the technology world.
We do explore both options.
We do?
Yes.
And do we find it feasible for us?
I think we've done both over the years.
We've
those
lease
times.
purchased.
Yeah. we do lease
And
purchases.
is there a reason why we're using SHI, being that they're a reseller?
They're under contract.
Okay.
Any other discussion? Roll call.
Mr. Armato?
Yes.
Mrs. Claus?
Yes.
Mr. Peters?
Yes.
Mrs. McAvoy?
Yes.
Mrs. Downing?
Yes.
Mr. Scanlon?
Yes.
Mr. Polino?
Yes. 33, 34, curriculum, purchasing of curriculum.
Move.
Second.
Thank you.
Discussion? Roll call.
Mr. Armato?
Yes.
Mrs. Claus?
Yes.
Mr. Peters?
Yes.
Mrs. McAvoy?
Yes.
Mrs. Downing?
Yes.
Mr. Scanlon?
Yes.
And Mr. Polino?
Yes. 35 through 41, transportation and athletics. Motion?
Why are you saying athletics?
Transfer 34 through, 35 through 41, right?
Yes.
And that's covering, the random testing for athletics.
And,
I'll move it. I'll second.
Okay, discussion? Roll call.
Mr. Armato?
Yes.
Mrs. Claus?
Yes.
Mr. Peters?
Yes, but I'm going to abstain on 5291871653, please.
Thank you. Mrs. McAvoy?
Yes.
Mrs. Downing?
Yes.
Mr. Scanlon?
Yes.
Mr. Polino?
Yes. 42 through 48 are annual adoptions and appointments. Motion?
I'll move that.
I'll second Peters.
Discussion. Roll call?
Mr. Armato?
Yes.
Mrs. Claus?
Yes.
Mr. Peters?
Yes, and congratulations.
Mrs. McAvoy?
Yes.
Mrs. Downing?
Yes.
Abstentions?
Yeah, I'm sorry, are we on E?
We're on 42 through 48.
Yeah.
So
Which one am I, which one are you?
43?
43.
43, give me a minute. Oh, yes, I have to abstain on Mr. Zelinski's contract there. Just abstain on all 43.
Mr. Scanlon?
Yes.
And Mr. Polino?
Yes. 49 through 61, purchasing. Motion?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it. Discussion? Roll call.
Mr. Armato?
Yes.
Mrs. Claus?
Yes.
Mr. Peters?
Yes.
Mrs. McAvoy?
Yes.
Mrs. Downing?
Yes.
Mr. Scanlon?
Yes.
Mr. Polino?
Yes. 62 through 76, professional services.
I will move that.
Second.
76.
I'll second it.
Mhm.
Discussion?
What numbers were they again?
62 through 76.
May I make a suggestion? For the
Yes.
future, could we have like a little cheat sheet, what numbers we're gonna vote under what, so that we
So you
don't have
know.
to keep flipping pages? We can do it ahead of time in our head.
Cheat sheet.
A cheat sheet,
Okay.
that's what I thought, to help you.
Cheating's a bad word to use.
I
in
know,
a
but-
school board.
Try to avoid that.
A help sheet, how's that?
A help sheet. Sure.
Thanks.
A roadmap.
We're all flipping pages here, like.
So we're back to 62 through 76.
Yes.
Yes.
I move that.
Any other discussion besides a cheat sheet?
Yes.
Mr. Peters?
Yes, I have discussion. Number 65. The architects. Did we see any other comparable pricing for that hourly rate?
Yeah, sure. Mr. Peters, in the years in between issuing a formal request for proposal for professional services, we perform a comparative process allowed under the same law, whereby we take a survey of all other Ocean County districts for all professional services, and have always found ourselves well within the guidelines and lower than most, if not all, of the other districts.
So we did submit an RFP for this.
We had an RFP a while ago, but we do a comparative process. I issue a survey to all Ocean County districts, the business administrators, and I give them our rates for all professional services, and in turn, they populate their rates. And we use that to comply with the law to appoint without an RFP. That's been the.
And I know it's your last night, Mr. DeGeorge, but what was the last time we submitted a new RFP for those? How long ago has it been?
I think 3 years.
Because right now, it's not, we're just comparing prices to other districts, but I'm worried about our district. And when was the last time we put an RFP out for that?
We did an RFP about 3 years ago, I think. But again, we're not skirting anything. I'm not saying that you're saying we are, but the process we use in between RFP years is encouraged and permitted by law, which kind of one and the same thing. But that said, at any point, a board could request that RFP be looked into for any professional service, really.
Thank you so much. I
Yeah,
just
sure.
looking at $155 an hour isn't a 5-cent pencil.
You're right. Thanks for remembering. Yes, it is. I agree with you. It is not. But I will make a note to share with the board, which I should have done at the last Finance Committee meeting, the results of that survey, and you'll see that.
Thank you.
Our rates are well within the county.
Any other discussion?
No.
Roll call.
Mr. Armato?
Yes.
Mrs. Claus?
Yes.
Mr. Peters?
Yes.
Mrs. McAvoy?
Yes.
Mrs. Downing?
Yes.
Mr. Scanlon?
Yes.
Mr. Polino?
Yes. 77 through 86, starting on page 30. Facilities, disposal of assets, out-of-district tuitions, non-resident student tuitions, summer athletics, clinics, policy and regs. Motion,
Move. A second.
discussion.
Just a question, is there any reason why, when normally we use the Mill Pond or the middle school for recreational athletics, there's usually a fee associated with it because there's a custodian that needs to be on call for that? Is there a reason why that they're not being charged this time, or is it not a,
Which one, Mr. Armato?
They
So
are,
we have-
they are
I-
charged the custodial fee.
it doesn't say that, it says fee no.
Do you mean
That's
the
in
NJ
the-
Fire?
Fire, yeah.
I'm talking about Lacey Youth Wrestling, we don't know where they're gonna be. And we're talking about NJ Fire basketball.
New Jersey Lacey Youth Wrestling
It's in the high school.
is at the high school. We have a custodian on
At the high school
premise.
is 24 hours, so if they're at the high school, there's no fee associated with the high school use.
If
But if it's at
they're-
the middle school or Mill Pond, there's always a fee affiliated with
No, not if we have a custodian on. And if they are an approved per policy organization that is no fee. There's, in the policy, there's different categories of groups who would be charged. And if a custodian is not there and they need custodian services, then they would be charged. But here, where you're looking is the wrestling's using Monday through Friday. There is a custodian here at all times. Are they using the high school or? Usually it tells us where the wrestling club is practicing, and this does not tell us. Is
Right,
that-
that's why I asked.
This is high school.
Oh, high school, Sal, it does say. So we do have a custodian there.
Well, I know the high schools, there's always someone there.
Yes.
That's on, custodians are on call there 24 hours a day, but they're not on call 24 hours a day at Mill Pond or the middle school. Especially on weekends.
This, right, this is
It's during
Tuesday
the
and
week,
Wednesday.
yeah.
There is a
Right.
custodian there.
All right. I mean, I'm good with it, but I just want
Yeah.
to make sure that.
I
we're
know
getting
them, and even on Sundays, there is a custodian at the high school, but not the others. But these
Right.
are all when a custodian will be there.
Okay.
Any other discussion? Roll call.
Mr. Armato?
Yes.
Mrs. Claus?
Yes.
Mr. Peters?
Yes.
Mrs. McAvoy?
Yes.
Mrs. Downing?
Yes.
Mr. Scanlon?
Yes.
Mr. Polino?
Yes. 87 through 88 Hibbs, but we did not complete that, all of those. So after this agenda, we're going to be going back into private session to complete those Hibbs and take necessary action if need be. So we're going to put that on hold. So let's go to B, donations.
Move.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call.
Mr. Armato?
Yes.
Mrs. Claus?
Yes.
Mr. Peters?
Yes, and thank you.
Mrs. McAvoy?
Yes.
Mrs. Downing?
Yes.
Mr. Scanlon?
Yes.
Mr. Polino?
Yes, and thank you. Letter C, programs and curriculum, motion,
Move. Second.
discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Armato?
Yes.
Mrs. Claus?
Yes.
Mr. Peters?
Yes.
Mrs. McAvoy?
Yes.
Mrs. Downing?
Yes.
Mr. Scanlon?
Yes.
Mr. Polino?
Yes. Letter D, professional days and workshops, motion,
I'll move it.
I'll second.
discussion.
Yeah, Mr. Zelinski, Allison Ziba, what is APSI macroeconomics? Is that for an AP course?
It's AP. I'm not sure why it says SI, but that we're going to do a new macro course next year. So
Okay.
we always send for that first big training with AP College Board.
All right, thank you. The SI threw me off. Okay, thank you.
Any other discussion? Roll call.
Mr. Armato?
Yes.
Mrs. Claus?
Yes.
Mr. Peters?
Yes.
Mrs. McAvoy?
Yes.
Mrs. Downing?
Yes.
Mr. Scanlon?
Yes.
Mr. Polino?
Yes. Letter E, certificated personnel, 1 through 21,
Move.
Second.
discussion.
1 through 21.
All certificated person.
Right, okay.
Letter E, certificated personnel, 1 through 21.
34 to 39.
No.
33.
No, page.
Page 33,
Page
I'm sorry.
No, just that, I asked Dr. Pereira today about, the weight room for the summer. And, that is open to, every day in the summer for all students. It's not just one team. It'll be open to all students because I know we get that question every year, who can use the weight room? So I'm just
And
clarifying.
Mrs. McAvoy, that's Monday through Thursday.
Monday through Thursday, either 8 to 10 or 9 to 11. So other teams and other students can use that. Thank you.
Thank you. Roll call.
Mr. Armato?
Yes.
Mrs. Claus?
Yes.
Mr. Peters?
Yes.
Mrs. McAvoy?
Yes, and congratulations to Linda Quinn. She's been with us probably over 30 years and she's retiring. So congratulations.
Mrs. Downing?
Yes, I'd like to abstain on, yes on E, but I'm abstaining on number 3, the administrative contract for Mr. Zelinski.
Thank you.
And I too would like to congratulate Linda. She was sitting up there till just a few minutes ago.
Yeah.
But she's been in our district forever and she's going to be missed. So congratulations, Linda.
Mr. Scanlon?
Yes, and congratulations to Linda.
And Mr. Polino?
Yes, and congratulations. Letter F, non-certificated personnel, 1 through 8. Motion?
Move.
Second. Discussion?
Yeah, the first person there, the PT security aide, is that just like a front greeter at the door?
I'm sorry, where are you at, Mr.? Oh,
The first one there?
Yes.
Is that what that is, just a greeter at the door? All right, thank you.
Any other discussion? Roll.
Mr. Armato?
Yes.
Mrs. Claus?
Yes.
Mr. Peters?
Yes.
Mrs. McAvoy?
Yes.
Mrs. Downing?
Yes.
Mr. Scanlon?
Yes.
Mr. Polino?
Yes.
Are we, we doing any add-ons now, or is that gonna be after the fact? After the fact, okay. What do you gonna read?
Okay, we're going to recess into our second executive session. Whereas the New Jersey Open Public Meetings Act, NJSA 10:4, is designed to ensure that decision-making government bodies in the state conduct their business in public, except in specific circumstances where exclusion of the public is needed in order to protect the privacy of individuals, the safety of the public, or the effectiveness of government in such areas as negotiations or investigations, and whereas in such circumstances, a closed or executive session may be held without public notice or during the course of a public meeting, provided the subject matter of the executive session is covered by the law. Therefore, be it resolved that an executive session be convened for the purpose of further discussing confidential matters, including but not limited to harassment, intimidation, and bullying, confidential legal matters, including but not limited to the current caseload, confidential personal matters, including but not limited to annual evaluation of the superintendent of schools and collective bargaining. The subject matter of these discussions will be disclosed to the public when the reason for confidentiality subsides. The length of the executive session is estimated to be approximately an hour.
How long? About an hour?
45? About an hour. About 60 minutes, the board shall reconvene and proceed with business
Right here in this room?
at approximately 11 o'clock. Action may be taken. Motion?
Move.
Second.
Oh, my gosh.
Okay, we're gonna resume our meeting. We're going to 87 to 88.
Yes.
87 to 88 are Hibbs. Motion,
Make a motion to approve them as Hibbs.
second.
Second, Peters.
Any discussion? Roll call.
Mr. Armato?
Yes.
Mrs. Claus?
Yes.
Mr. Peters?
Yes.
Mrs. McAvoy?
Yes.
Mrs. Downing is?
Yes.
Oh, sure. Yes.
I
Mr.
came back.
Scanlon? Are you leaving?
That's so honest.
Tried.
She was almost out.
Mr. Scanlon?
Yes.
Mr. Polino?
Yes. Walk on?
And we have walk-on resolution number 1, reversal of Hibbs determination. Move that the Lacey Township Board of Education reverse the superintendent's determination of Hibb in the matter regarding student ID number 906015. Motion?
Move.
Second, Peters.
Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Armato?
Yes.
Mrs. Claus?
Yes.
Mr. Peters?
Yes.
Mrs. McAvoy?
Yes.
Mrs. Downing?
Yes.
Mr. Scanlon?
Yes.
Mr. Polino?
Yes. Motion to adjourn?
Move.
Second? Good night. Thank you.
Tonight has been real.